This Sunday, Crystal Palace co-owner chairman Steve Parish will be live in the studio on Talksport on Sunday edition with Sean Custis and Henry Winter discussing the Mark Gay U-turn, the future of England hopeful Adam Wharton, and of course what happened with Palace, UEFA and the Europa League. Eagles chairman Steve Parish live on Sunday edition on Talksport from 10 a.m. this weekend. And actually last Sunday, our England correspondent Faye Carruthers was hosting with Henry Winter. Had a brilliant chat about the Bellingham situation. You can listen back to that on the schedules on the Talksport app. They put the lights out here at Wembley. The pyro and fireworks are going off as we build up to kick-off, build up to the teams coming out, and the flags are flying as well ahead of England against Wales, which is coming up live on Talksport. Kick-off at 7:45. Let's talk about Craig Bellamy, Tom Lockie, because there was half an hour of Bellamy gold in the press conference yesterday. He said they're going to press. He doesn't want to defend deep. I don't believe in friendlies. We don't do friendlies. We're here to win. We're not Serbia. We know England's weaknesses. It was brilliant. He's changed, doesn't he?
Yeah, and whoever has done his PR post-football needs a prize, I think, because, it's been quite special. And not just me, but the whole Welsh nation and all the Wales fans hang off every word he says. We cannot get enough of it. He has installed pride back into the nation. I know we've not really done anything in terms of tournament or anything yet, but it's a team that we are so proud to watch go out and represent us.
Yeah, I mean, that game in Belgium said it all, didn't it? Even though they were beaten, it was like they'd won. I mean, if you look at the fans afterwards in the corner, in the section of the ground they were in, they were absolutely loving it. They were celebrating like they won the game.
Yeah, and talk about together stronger. 3-0 down just before half-time, you think you could be beaten here, and away at Belgium, it could be 4 or 5 and could get quite tasty. So to turn it around and have that never die spirit is incredible, and that's what we are as Welsh people. We're so proud of who we are and where we come from, and all we want is just to see that on the pitch, go toe-to-toe with the big dogs. And no one wants to sit behind the ball for 90 minutes and lose 2-0 anyway. You might as well go after them and have a right go, and that's what he's promised us, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, that Welsh flag is on the pitch next to the England George Cross. The Welsh Red Dragon sits there on the turf, and the Three Lions crest is over the centre circle as the players make their way out onto the pitch here tonight at Wembley ahead of England against Wales. And instead of kids as mascots, adults living with dementia are walking out with the players right now. Dementia is the UK's biggest killer. Alzheimer's Society and the FA have already raised 1.3 million together to support people living with dementia. Anita Goundry is one of those, maybe I'll spot her, walking out with the players diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at the age of 50. Incredible. She's a Spennymoor Town fan. They're going well in the National League North. Thomas Tuchel said yesterday in the press conference that as a group, everybody more than happy to raise the subject, to raise awareness. And if you want to help or find out more, head to alzheimers.co.uk/join our team. Fantastic work from the FA. Listen, they get criticised a lot. I heard Simon Jordan having a go at them yesterday morning again. But there's so much good work that the Football Association do amidst the stuff that, you can definitely criticise them for as well. Looks like so many of these seats have been taken up. I did hear that it was a sellout. Whether all those seats will be taken up is another matter. We may only find that out in due course. But the players are lined up under the Alzheimer's Society banner and behind a banner on the floor that just simply says football with the all in blue italics. Well, here at Wembley, it's time to observe the national anthems, starting with Wales and Land of My Fathers. always hit the spot, don't they, the Welsh, with that anthem. Land of My Fathers, words written by Evan James, music written by James James. I kid you not. And now God Save the King. It's a local derby. It definitely is not a friendly. Here's your Talksport team for the game. Wales international Tom Lockyer, former England captain Stuart Pearce, and Talksport's England commentator Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you. And for those of us of a certain age, this fixture used to be a staple in the calendar. The annual crossing of swords between the Three Lions and the Red Dragon, battling for home nation supremacy on sun-drenched post-season May afternoons. But now, these meetings are isolated. There's an extra edge, whatever the context, be it Lens or Al Rayyan or Wembley. How can a match with your neighbours ever be routine, even when, as tonight, it's a friendly, albeit one with the smallest of Fs? The reality for Wales is that Monday's game with Belgium is much more important, potentially the tipping point between automatic qualification or a playoff place for the World Cup. But what a fillip it would be to go into such a crucial match on the back of a first win over the old enemy in 41 years. From England's perspective, there's now such a huge margin for error in the qualification group that tonight can be relished ahead of Tuesday's match in Riga. Belgrade blueprint is there for all to see, now to be finessed over the next 6 matches before the squad for the States is named. Tonight, the need to emulate that level of performance against better opposition. Well, these are the teams. England making 4 changes, all of them enforced. Pickford continues in goal, hoping for an 8th consecutive clean sheet. Cons has played only 25 minutes at right back in 2025, but he moves out there to replace James. Stones back at centre-half alongside Gahey, and a first start for Spence at left-back. Anderson anchors the midfield, Saka and Gordon wide, Rice and Rodgers in the middle, now the only ever presence under Tuchel, and Watkins, who scored against Greece on his last international start, leads the line. For Wales, 7 changes to the team beaten by Canada. Darlow's in goal. There's a 50th cap for Nico Williams, who returns to right back. Roden and Ben Davies at centre-half and De Silva at left-back. Ampadu has Wilson and Cullen ahead of him in midfield, with Johnson and Brooks wide and Moore up front. And on the benches for England, Byrne, Lewis Skelly, O'Reilly, Jordan Henderson, Loftus-Cheek, Gibbs-White, Eza, Bowen, Rashford, and the keepers Dean Henderson and Trafford. Kane and Quansah have officially been named on the bench. We're not expecting that either of them will feature tonight. For Wales, Mepham, Cabango, Capaccio and Lawler, Jordan James, Sheehan, Joel Colwell and Ruben Colwell, Kumas, Thomas, Broadhead, Harrison, Isaac Davis, with Adam Davis and King, the sub-keepers. England white shirts, dark blue shorts will kick from left to right, and Wales in all red, and they will defend the end away to our right hand side. The Welsh supporters in fine voice, and they go from the halfway point over on the far touchline round towards the goal away to our right. Well, there are no points at stake, but there are points to prove. There's no qualification on the line, but there's plenty of parochial pride. Because for only the 8th time in 40-odd years, it's England-Wales. And the Welsh, from the off, already trying to counter-attack England, working the ball out of the right-hand side. Nico Williams in possession, and then it's worked back towards Joe Roden. And now to Ben Davies at the heart of the Welsh defence. Davies, who hasn't played a single minute of football for Tottenham this season, but recalled tonight, hoping to win his 100th cap next week. England work the ball back for their goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford, who's in all yellow. He's driven it down towards Bukayo Saka. Strong challenge coming in on him from De Silva, but one back by England. with Ezra Konsa laying it back for John Stones, who's recalled by England tonight, a year almost to the day since he last played for his country because of the horrendous time that he's had through injury. Anthony Gordon able to bring the ball forward now down the England left, and he's running with real intent towards the edge of the penalty area. Switch of play out towards Bukayo Saka on the corner of the box, in towards Morgan Rogers, twisting and turning, laying it back. Gordon in a more central position across the face of goal, and only narrowly wide. Well, both sides showing attacking intent in the opening couple of minutes. It is still 0-0, but a good first start of goal for England. Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, really good attack early on with a giveaway of possession by Anderson, and the Welsh was straight after England. Fortunately, that broke down for England, but on the counter-attack, interesting to see when England did get forward, there was 3 or 4 of the Welsh players quite happy to stay up the pitch and not burst a gut to get back goal side, and that might just play into England's hands.
Declan Rice will go across to take the corner. That Gordon cross-come shot took a deflection. So Rice to take a corner on the England left in front of the travelling Welsh support. Raises his left arm above his head. And there's plenty of air underneath this as he swings it in. Stones attacking the far post. It's played back and a right-footed effort comes in. Perfect start for England. They're ahead inside 2.5 minutes. Rice with the ball, swung deep towards the back post. Stones headed it down. Gahey kept it alive, pulled it back for Morgan Rogers, who kept his nerve to siphon into the bottom left-hand corner. A man that really needed a goal. 23 games without one for club and country, but he's fired England into the perfect start here at Wembley.
Well, Thomas Tuchel wanted to build on what happened last month, and he's certainly gone about it the right way. Brilliant from Gahey, keeping it alive. Stones, his header at the back post looked as though it was going out, and Gahey was the one who kept it alive, and he's just getting a pat on the head there by Morgan Rogers, and that's what team football's all about, let's say. Great finish.
Well, it will be looked at the VAR. Lucas Fendrick just making sure that the ball hadn't gone over the byline. Gahey did keep it in time, and Rogers was there just to pick his spot, found into the bottom left-hand corner for his first goal for club or country since he netted for Villa in the Parc des Princes against PSG in the Champions League quarter-finals last season. Perfect start for England. Wales on the front foot straight away in a game that's been played at a breathtaking tempo so far. Here's Ampadu swinging the ball deep. And straight out of play for a goal kick. Well, you've heard from Stuart Pearce, a man who only lost 6 of his 78 international appearances. We've also, I'm delighted to say, got Tom Lockyer, a man who's played 16 games so far for Wales. They've only conceded 5 goals in those 16 matches when he's been on the pitch. But Tom, your countrymen have already seen their backline breached here.
Yeah, it was so disappointing. It was initially a really good start getting after England on the counter-attack, but for all the quality England have, to give them such a simple goal from a set piece is going to be so frustrating. And Morgan Rogers finds himself in so much space in a box that is packed full of Wales players, so that's going to be utterly disappointing for Wales, and they're going to have to respond well here.
And where does the finger of blame lie in terms of that set piece defending?
Oh, well, who's picking up Morgan Rogers for starters? To have him in that sort of space inside the penalty box, not even the penalty box, he's inside the 6-yard box. That's going to be questions raised for sure. The first contact obviously is always the big one as well, so that's massive, and that needs to get sorted going forward.
Brennan Johnson, I think he was the man-to-man marker, the blocker, and obviously when the ball's gone sort of semi-dead after first contact, Gahey kept it alive, and that's when Brennan Johnson's lost Rogers.
So England leading by a goal to nil. Morgan Rogers scoring his first goal for his country. He started the last 3 World Cup qualifiers, predominantly playing in the number 10 role, and he has the most advanced of the central roles for England again today. But Anderson shielding the back 4. Rice will push forward on the left-hand side of midfield, and Rogers on the right. Here's Gordon coming towards the edge of the penalty area with Talksport. England already leading by a goal to nil. Ball work down the left-hand side of the penalty area for Jed Spence, who's making his first international start tonight. Playing at left-back, having come on at right-back for 25 minutes out in Serbia. Stones finding Gahey. Gahey will work it out towards the England left-hand side again. England have failed to win each of their last 4 friendlies here at Wembley. The last win in a friendly underneath the famous arch was against Australia back in 2023. Wales, though, just not got a good record in this particular fixture over the recent past. Indeed, they haven't scored a goal at Wembley since Ian Rush back in 1983. They've got work to do here. They've got a free kick about 5 yards inside their own half on the right-hand side. England leading 1-0, 6 gone on Talksport.
Yeah, just looking at the Welsh, when England play through that first line of press, I'm seeing Moore, Brooks and Wilson just turning back and getting back in their own time. I don't know whether it's a tactic to be on the counter-attack in good positions, but I think from England's point of view, they'll take that every day. There's less of a block to play through further up the pitch.
Rice finding Saka. Back for Declan Rice again. Now Ezri Konsa, who's got plenty of experience playing at right back. He's in that role today in the absence of the injured Reece James. As I mentioned earlier, he's seen very little time there for Aston Villa over the course of this calendar year. Less than half an hour of first team action on the right-hand side of the back 4, but that's the role that he's playing in today. Gordon down towards Jed Spence. Spence rolling his foot over the top of the ball, and Gordon fires in a corner which is blocked and put out of play for another corner. Tom, keep your eye on how the Welsh set up here and exactly who is marking who and whether they can deal with this set piece any more effectively.
Looks like he's free here, Morgan Rogers. No, it is Brennan Johnson who's got him, so yeah, let's hope he sticks to him a bit closer this time. But interestingly for me, it's a 4-4-2 for Wales, which is a little bit different from what we're used to, or a 4-2-4, trying to get that press high on up the pitch. But England is so comfortable on the ball, they can play around it quite easily.
And the score from the first corner. Here's the second, in from Rice. Not that it's much height on this one, it's dealt with at the near post. Played back out for Rice again, who has shanked a left-footed cross straight behind Cardalo's goal and out of play for a goal kick. Tuchel will be really happy with the way that the opening 8 minutes have gone. Those standards set in Belgrade, but it's all a question of being able to live up to them. And Serbia aside, just outside the top 20 in the Elo ratings. Wales just inside the top 40 in that particular ratings section, but widely regarded as being slightly superior to that. Here's Bukayo Saka laying the ball back for Anderson, who's had such an impressive start to his international career, particularly that game against Andorra here. Ball goes out towards Gordon, running off the ball ahead of him from Jed Spence and from Declan Rice, and it's Rice that has it on the left hand side of the penalty area, moving back outside the box to tee up Anderson again. Anderson turning, going back out for Rice once more on the left-hand side of the midfield. With Talksport, England leading with Morgan Rogers' 3rd minute goal. And now Spence on the left-hand side of the penalty area. He's just pulled it back. Rice able to deliver a cross, which is headed away. It's took a nick off Joe Roden and out for a 3rd England corner. Yeah,
England are going to get some joy down that left-hand side. Konsa playing right back on this side, happy to sort of support from behind or even tuck in to make a 3 at the back. Konsa's got a gallop on, and I'm looking at Brennan Johnson, and I'm not sure he enjoys going all the way back, and he's lost his man a couple of times, Tom, and he could be a weak link on that side.
Yeah, for as brilliant as he is going forward, a running back is not his game, is it? So he's going to need to do that to help out Nico Williams there, because the left-hand side for England is looking very dangerous.
So Rice will come out and take this corner as well. The first 2 on the left, this one on the right. It's going to be an away swinger, and will be a Hampden Park for goal news very shortly. In comes Rice's corner in towards the penalty spot, and it was blocked. Then to Anderson on the edge of the box. Now for Rice again. Chipped inside that penalty area. Another strong header away from Roden. Goes out for Saka. Saka's left-footed ball in the next phase of play. Rice coming around the back. Rogers takes the responsibility, and he's played across the face of goal for Watkins, who cannot miss. And he's there to bundle it over the line and double England's advantage. Well, neither of the attack-minded Villa players in the team have been in particularly good form for their club this season, but both have scored inside the opening 10 minutes here. It's England 2, Wales 0.
Well, I've got to say, England have done brilliantly for both of these goals, keeping the ball alive, but the Welsh will be so disappointed, Tom, with their contribution towards it.
Yeah, it's another set piece again, and you know, when you've got the heights of Kiefer Moore and Joe Rodon in there, you'd like to think you'd deal with these a little bit better, but it's been utterly disappointing so far. And for what we had promised, high pressure on the ball, England have been so comfortable with the ball around the back, and Wales have had no other option but to drop deep and get behind the ball, because England are just so comfortable on the ball.
Well, Ollie Watkins' previous start, in fact his only international start last season, came against Greece, scored that day, and deputising for Harry Kane again here. He's also been able to find the net from ultra close range, the ball evading Nico Williams and put in. It is still being checked, I would imagine, just to make sure that Watkins was onside as the ball was played across. He was. The goal stands, and it is 2-0 to England. Now, it wasn't a goal at Hampden Park, but we can catch up with Talksport's Paul Mitchell.
Scotland 0, Greece 0. It should have been a goal, Jim. What a miss. Vangelis Pavlidis had the opportunity. Ball played across to him by Christos Tasoulis, and for somehow about 4 yards out, he completely mishit it, didn't get the connection, and the ball went behind. Scotland lucky. Scotland 0, Greece 0.
So a let-off there. No let-offs for San Marino in the early stages. They're 3 down through 12 minutes in Austria. And Bosnia and Herzegovina lead in Cyprus by a goal to 0. We'll keep you updated with all the goals as they go in. Earlier, Scotland's under-21s had a relatively convincing win. Beat Gibraltar 12-0. With 4 goals for the Manchester City striker Emilio Lawrence, and a hat-trick for Hearts' James Wilson. Here's Morgan Rogers getting it forward. Watkins turning it round the corner. Saka's inside the penalty area, and his shot towards the far post is well blocked by the retreating Welsh back line. But this is one-way traffic. England 2 up and hungry for more.
I tell you what, when England counter-attacked then, there was the front line, 4 Welsh players just looking back at their own goal, coming back at their own time. And I tell you what, if you do that, it plays straight into England's hands.
Yeah, and it's not something I've seen before from a Craig Bellamy side, so I don't know whether this is a tactic or maybe they do have half an eye on Belgium maybe and trying to protect their legs, but either way it doesn't look pretty at the minute, and this could get messy if this carries on this way.
So Declan Rice to take this latest corner. It's England's 4th, and again the left arm is raised above his head as the delivery then is fired in. It was cleared straight into Elliot Anderson and bounces away and out of play for a goal kick. So Tom, Wales just need to take stock really. You talked about the fact that you've got to save the legs, but psychologically any kind of defeat, but particularly a heavy defeat, could have a huge impact going into that crucial game against Belgium on Monday.
Absolutely, but it wouldn't be the end of the world, because ultimately it will give a lot to learn from. But you're just looking at, in times like this at the minute, whatever we're doing, it's just not working, and you're looking for your experienced players to put a foot on it and settle it out.
Rogers finds Saka. England coming again with a left-footed ball swung inside the penalty area that's headed away by Rodon and then cleared by Ben Davies. High ball from him down towards the Welsh left, but very well dealt with by Ezri Konsa under pressure from David Brooks, who's fouled him. And it's a free kick going to be taken on the England right-hand side. Referee tonight, Urs Schneider from Switzerland. Giving England that free kick that Konsa will take. It's the 105th meeting of the two nations. If England win this, they will have won 5 times as many of those previous games as Wales have, and this will be an 8th in a row. The last Welsh victory against England was at Wrexham in a home nations game back in 1984. They play the ball through their penalty area, a little bit chancy, but the pass right across the box found a man, and now Stones can get his foot on it and can see an exhibition of his wonderful range of passing as he pings one out towards the England left-hand side for Jed Spence.
Yeah, I don't know whether, Jim, the words of Craig Bellamy, you know, we don't want to sit back and defend, but I'm afraid when you're playing against a team that can dominate the ball and can hurt you one-on-one, you're going to have to defend in numbers. There's no team in the world that can survive that, and there's been too many times I've seen the Welsh side with 3 and 4 players the wrong side of the ball and not getting back with urgency.
Anderson trying to bring it forward through the midfield. Two Welsh players converged on him. I think it was Cullen that got the footing to get it away, but England winning all the second ball at the moment. Saka trying to drive it forward. Brooks turning away. Rodgers then gets a shot in after it ricochets off the Bournemouth man. Morgan Rodgers' effort is comfortably saved by Cardalo, diving away to his left-hand side. England 2, Wales 0. Rodgers on 3 minutes, Watkins on 11. The ball with Jay De Silva, who's one of 6 English-born players inside the Wales starting lineup tonight. Rice has got it. De Silva, who was a former England under-21 international, qualifies because his grandmother is from Pontypridd. Konsa on the right-hand touch line, just working it through the midfield to his left-hand side for Anderson, and then Saka sweeps it away from Brennan Johnson out towards Jed Spence, who's born in towards the near post. Was just past Anthony Gordon. Nico Williams takes it down towards his own dead ball line. He can clear off balance. He did well to hook it away from Spence and put it out of play for an England throw. 2-0.
Yeah, I think England are enjoying the game too much from Wales's point of view, that is for sure. They've got plenty of room to play in and around the Welsh, and the Welsh are just not getting back in numbers to make it difficult and deny the space.
England taking that throw, working it again down towards the dead ball line, and the referee spotted an infringement, a handball, and a free kick to the Welsh. We saw Dean Saunders earlier coming up past the commentary spot. He had a big beaming grin on his face. I'm guessing he probably hasn't now. Dean's reaction tomorrow morning, you can hear it on the breakfast show, which comes from Glasgow tomorrow. Alan Brazil and Ray Parler returning at 6 tomorrow morning. David Weir, Charlie Mulgrew, Nicky Butt amongst the guests, as well as Dino as well. Also, if you fancy something different on your morning commute tomorrow, be sure to check out the Chris Evans Breakfast Show, which is weekdays from 6:30 on Virgin Radio, which you can listen to on DAB. It's Talksport Breakfast from 6 a.m. every morning from Monday through Friday. England get another free kick. The reaction on the sports bar from an England perspective will be very positive if it stays this way, less so from the Welsh point of view. Belarus 0, Denmark 2, a latest score in the other game in Scotland's group tonight. That's not good news as far as the Scots are concerned. Denmark would be, as things stand right now, 2 points clear of them. England have possession with Declan Rice. It's gone back for Elliot Anderson. Anderson near the edge of the centre circle before finding John Stones, who will be able to take it on a touch and just breeze away from Kiefer Moore. Lays the ball down for Saka on the England right. Back it comes for Anderson again. Anderson just going sideways at the moment, about 20 yards inside Welsh territory. Finds Rice. Rice back for Gahey. Now Stones. Stones, who is winning his 84th cap for his country tonight. They're inside the top 5 most capped defenders of England's history now. Ball out towards Spence. Spence turned forward to the blonde-haired Gordon, who initially looked to move back inside and then turned the other way and gets the better of Nico Williams and runs towards the edge of the Welsh penalty area, trying to get himself into a shooting position. Sets up Elliot Anderson instead, who took 2 or 3 touches. His shot blocked, but it comes back out for Rice. Now worked down to Saka. Saka turning it onto his left foot. Oh, it's a beautiful goal. Just cut it onto his left foot, turned back inside, bet one into the top left-hand corner. And England have been able to pick up where they left off in Belgrade. 5 goals out in Serbia and 3 in the opening 20 minutes tonight.
I've got to say, Jim, if I'm Williams, the right back of Wales, I'm saying to Brennan Johnson, you're going to have to do a little bit more, son, because he's given his wicket away on the halfway line, going to press Declan Rice and going to press Gahey. The ball's played past him, and all of a sudden there's a 2-on-1 overload, and England are finding so much space. And that is one of the best goals I have ever seen in this stadium. An incredible finish.
And that's the quality that these top teams have, and that is what I mentioned earlier. Don't be giving 2 goals away from set pieces when other teams have quality like this. He cuts in on his left foot, and from there into the top bins, you just don't save those. And from a Wales point of view, I'm really looking to the leaders now. I'm seeing Ben Davies putting his arms up, Ethan Ampadu, and I just need more from them. Whatever they're working on, whatever they're trying to do right now, it is not working.
So how do they change it, Tom?
Well, they are trying to press. Craig Bellamy is right, they are trying to press, but England are so comfortable on the ball every time that Kiefer Moore sets the trigger, because he's the one who goes hunting, and then Harry Wilson follows him, followed by the two wingers, David Brooks and Brennan Johnson. But England make the pitch so big and they're so comfortable on the ball, but by the time that Kiefer Moore gets there, like now, he's played around like he's not even there, and then you do that 3 or 4 times and it's demoralising, and you don't end up going again.
Yeah, Tom makes a really good point, and I also think, throwing to the mix, I think the press from the two wide players is a little bit too narrow. So Brennan Johnson's going to press, but he's at least 15 yards in, and all of a sudden, by the time he gets to go and press Gahey, they play it outside him, and then off we go, the cavalry charge again with loads of room.
Kiefer Moore has just fouled Ezri Konsa, who's not back on his feet as yet. I think he just caught him from behind. He's all right, Konsa. And he strides forward now towards the halfway. Then just bends down and feels the Achilles just on his right foot. He's okay, he's going to be able to continue. That's some statement, by the way. One of the best goals you've ever seen here at Wembley, because you've been at nearly every game that this stadium's ever seen.
Jim, we're right behind it here. It was incredible. He's opened his body up, come inside and used 2 defenders to fade it round, and it's nestled in the top corner. It's magnificent.
It's only his second appearance tonight in Tuchel's 7th game since taking charge. It's only the second time that he's had the opportunity to work with Saka, who's in space again on the right-hand side. It's just far too easy for England to bring it forward and get between the lines, and they almost got Saka in again. That time Jay De Silva stepped up and was able to knock it away. But they haven't been able to plug those gaps that you guys have just been talking about.
No, they haven't. As I say, they've almost got a 4 up there, with Wilson joining Kiefer Moore to go on the press. But the press is so narrow as well. So England just get it to the left centre half, commit Brennan Johnson. He should stay in slot for a little while, and then give it to Spence, and all of a sudden it's 2 versus 1, and Williams is trying to deal with the onslaught that's coming there, and Declan Rice is cute enough to get in the mix as well and create another overload.
We'll be back at Hampden Park very shortly. Still 0-0 in Scotland's game against Greece tonight. Denmark, the other game in that group, 2 up in Belarus. A surprising scoreline from Toshan. Faroes leading Montenegro by a goal to 0. Here's Anthony Gordon, almost getting it through towards Rodgers. It just came slightly behind him, and Rodgers, in trying to get it into his stride, it just flicked off his trailing left foot. And Wales are going to be able to get it to Ethan Ampadu, and the Devonian-born midfielder can bring it under control and then work it forward down to his left-hand side for Ben Davies. De Silva back for Ampadu again, who wanted the return, but instead Davies goes back to his goalkeeper Carl Darlow. Darlow taking a touch, bringing it to the edge of the D, and now preparing to get it upfield. So we'll go to Hampden, Scotland, taking on Greece, and here's Talksport's Paul Mitchell.
0, Greece 0, but Greece certainly having the better of things, over 70% of possession. They should have been ahead after 7 minutes. Vangelis Pavlis with a horrible miss inside the 6-yard box. How he didn't connect, nobody quite knows. Scotland 0, Greece 0.
So still 0-0 there. 3-0 to England here at Wembley. Goals from Rodgers, Watkins and Saka inside the opening 20 minutes. We've played 24 now here on Talksport, with more international action coming your way Tuesday night. England hoping to play half as well as this, and they go to Riga to take on Latvia, and that's live on Talksport. Build up at 7 for a 7:45 kickoff. BST here on Talksport. We'll be out there, and we'll also keep you updated, of course, on Monday night. Everything that's going on in Wales. Crucial game in Cardiff at home to Belgium. Belgium in action tomorrow. They're in Ghent taking on North Macedonia. If Belgium don't win that game, then Wales' fate is in their hands. They will definitely win the group and qualify if they win their last 3 games. If Belgium don't win tomorrow, they're by no means out of the automatic spot, even if Belgium do win tomorrow. All the important international goals over the course of this week here on Talksport. John Stones is in possession. He's midway inside his own half. And he's gone back behind square to his left-hand side. Another opportunity for England to be able to bring it forward. It is incidentally the first time England have scored 3 goals in the opening 20 minutes of a match since. That's just one for you to ponder. It's longer ago than you thought. I would imagine you played that day. I'll get your thoughts on it in a moment, Stu. Stones works it forward here into the feet of Ollie Watkins. Back it goes for Anderson, and Anderson will turn it out to his left. What do you reckon?
Well, I'm going to go for England versus Yugoslavia. We were out in Serbia and talked about it, and I think they were 4 up within a very short space of time that day.
Absolutely, Bob, on 1987. So the first time for 38 years England have scored 3 in the opening 20 minutes. And they've got a free kick here in a promising position as the ball's played down the left-hand side of the penalty area for Anthony Gordon. He cut back. He was outside the box when Williams made his challenge. Well, Williams catches him and he's booked.
The point I was trying to make earlier about Wales probably defending too narrow as 2 wide players was a direct reflection of what England done a minute ago. Wales had good possession in the build-up, but England's 2 wide players in Saka and Gordon, they defended much deeper and a lot wider. So out the corner of their eye, they can see an advanced fullback that's near enough level with them. What Wales are not doing, and more especially Brennan Johnson, is the fullback's gone beyond him, and he's only got eyes for Gahey to go and press him, and all of a sudden it's a 2v1 overload. Now, as a fullback, you shouldn't allow your wide player to get away with that. He's got to do a better shift going backwards.
And I'm sure he will be being told by Nico Williams and also by Craig Bellamy. Bottom line is that it's a situation that Wales can't afford to repeat on Monday night against Belgium. That's the most important thing. Declan Rice is certainly a player with a bit of previous from this kind of area these days. The free kick is 7 yards outside the penalty area. It's left of centre. 4 in a wall with a draft excluder. Rice runs up, hits it. It's over Darlow's bar, not by much. But the Welsh goalkeeper had it covered. 3-0 to England here on Talksport.
Yeah, he's tried to go for the up and down and never actually got it down on target.
And that would have just summed up the first half nicely if that one went in from a Wales point of view. They just want to put the foot on the ball and almost take the sting out of the game at the minute, but England are just not letting them do that. England can smell blood and they're really stepping on to Wales here.
That's Tom Lockyer with us here on Talksport. I'm delighted to say tonight here's Jed Spence, left-hand touchline. Played back by him for Mark Gahey, now to John Stones. It's an interesting discussion that always comes about this time of a campaign leading up to a tournament. Exactly how many places are nailed down in terms of Thomas Tuchel's 26-man squad for the United States. I reckon it could potentially be as few as 16. I think that he's got quite a few options. I think it could be 16 with maybe 7 probables and a few possibles, but I think that there are still a few who are having a sing for their supper at the moment. But those that are in possession of the shirt at the moment are certainly in the box seat, you would imagine, after the performance last month and the start of this one. Ampadu goes back to Carl Darlow and he'll play down towards Ben Davis.
Yeah, if you've got probables, possibles, me and you, Jim, are still in the impossibles column.
Oh, you speak for yourself. At least you were there. At least you were once a possible. Free kick now to England on the right. Adrian Dunham's marks out of 10, always fascinating. And I very much look forward to hearing exactly what he's made of this. A few 6s and 7s for England tonight. I mean, I could pay him no higher a compliment than that.
I think a blank 5 across the board for the frugal Durham.
Stones is played out to the left. They'll be on the Talksport website, incidentally, as will the customary England debrief with Adrian and Stu and myself. Looking back at this game, what we've learned, what we'll take into Riga. That'll be on the Talksport YouTube channel later this evening. England leading 3-0 and in possession with Saka coming in off the right hand side. We've got, as always, the England trivia question coming up in a few minutes' time as well. Saka playing the ball forward, but easily cut out. De Silva, now Brooks. Brooks taking a touch on the touchline, going back for Ben Davies. Ben Davies working it across the edge of his own penalty area. Rodon's ball back towards Darlow, and Morgan Rogers sprinted after an England pressing really well from the front. Darlow did well, he got it away hurriedly but effectively. Wales get it forward, England get it back inside their own half, and now Gahey in possession will just work it forward here again for Declan Rice. 31 gone here on Talksport. 3-0 England lead, and here comes Gordon down the left-hand side of the penalty area, taking on Rodon, but his touch was just too heavy, and it rolls over the dead ball line and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, super ball there by Spence. Opened his body up, used his right foot, faded it inside the fullback, and I've got to say, really good cover coming across by Rodon.
So earlier today, Finland beat Lithuania 2-1 in a World Cup qualifier, the latest in the other World Cup qualifiers taking place at the moment. Belarus 0, Denmark 2, that's in Scotland's group. The Scots still 0-0 with Greece. Netherlands leading in Malta now by a goal to nil. Faroes 1, Montenegro 0. 0-0 between the Czechs and Croatia. The Bosnians a goal up in Cyprus. And Austria 3, San Marino 0. Wales in possession, Ampadu trying to get the ball over the top for Johnson's run up against his club teammate Jed Spence. Now Nico Williams with a clever little back heel flick. Ampadu coming forward, Ampadu towards the edge of the penalty area. He's looking for Kiefer Moore, he missed him, Brooks couldn't get on the end of it. Conser gets it back for Pickford. Pickford will drive it out to the England left hand side for Anthony Gordon, and Rice will just mop things up in the midfield. Go back for Gahey. Oh, Pickford's touch was poor. He's just got away with it. And only just picked up possession and just flicked it away from the on-rushing Harry Wilson in the nick of time. Very nearly cleared it into him for what would have been a goal back for Wales.
And I've got to say, and I'm not being detrimental here, but there was a lot of criticism for England after the Andorra game. But I tell you what, Andorra worked tirelessly, all 11, trying to nullify the space, and that's what made it so difficult for England. But they're finding it so easy tonight. Too much space, 4 players wrong side of the ball a lot of the time.
Here's Saka. His cross is deflected, comes out for Conser. Conser back for Anderson. Anderson for Stones, and then gets it back from Gahey. Working it in towards Anthony Gordon, trying to wriggle his way through. He and Saka both going for the same ball for a moment. The Arsenal man takes over, lays it back for Conser, who's not showing any ill effects of that bang that he got to the Achilles from Kiefer Moore. England recycle it from the right-hand side out to the far touchline, which is their left, and it comes back now from Jed Spence. 3-0 England leading here on Talksport, with Austria 4 up at home to San Marino. Brooks winning it back for Wales. Crossfield ball. The Welsh getting the red shirts forward really quickly, including Kiefer Moore, who's been fouled, and Gahey is booked.
This is where the rules of the game are a little bit fractured. A clear offside there. Gahey's got a stretch to try and cut the ball out, and with that the ball's dropped down, and it was a foul. There's no doubt about that. But for me, I don't know whether you call that back for an offside prior to that.
Well, you can't do the VAR can't get involved in that, but I agree with you. That's where the laws are flawed. That was a really poor challenge as well from Gahey. I mean, it's an orange really, because his legs have gone round the left leg of Kiefer Moore. Tom Lockyer, it was a poor challenge from the England number 6.
Yeah, and he's lucky he didn't catch him with his studs, because that would easily be a red card, and it was kind of almost a calf on knee there instead. But interestingly, once Wales do play out from the back and beat the initial England press, England are happy to drop in and give Wales some time on the ball.
Free kick is taken, pumped towards the right hand side of the box. It's cleared. De Silva then tries to flick it on, and then he knew that he had to take matters into his own hands to stop an England counter attack. And the Swiss referee is going to speak to him as well. Thomas Tuchel standing, hands outstretched. Can't believe that the yellow card hasn't been shown, but it will be an England free kick 15 yards outside their box.
I do like Anderson in that centre of midfield. He's abrasive, you know, and sometimes we got a lot of good technicians in here, but you also need someone who's fairly abrasive when the ball breaks down.
That's why you're here, mate. Mark Gahey flicks it forward towards Declan Rice. Did I say that out loud? That was brave. Here's Stones, 15 yards inside his own half. England leading by 3-0. The Faroe Islands 2 up now against Montenegro. Let's find out how close Scotland have been to breaking the deadlock in their match at home to Greece. Here's Talksport's Paul Mitchell.
Scotland 0, Greece 0. Tell you what, I've been to sponsored silences with more atmosphere than there is at Hampden tonight. Greece have just clamped down on Scotland. They've rarely been in the great penalty box. Greece should be ahead. Pavlidis with a horrible miss after 7 minutes. Gun saving from the striker after 33. Took a little deflection, but really it's been poor from Scotland so far. Scotland 0, Greece 0.
Now the Bosnians in a really good position in Group H, along with Austria. They're both ahead in their respective games quite comfortably. The Bosnians 2 up in Cyprus, Austria 4 up at home to San Marino, and it's going to be one of those two that will be going through automatically in that group. There's Declan Rice in possession. All played down to the England right for Bukayo Saka. Saka the concert of Rice. Now Rice can turn, no pressure on the ball from Kiefer Moore. So he'll play it forward towards Esri Konsa again. Two club teammates have already scored for England tonight. Bukayo Saka scoring a quite sublime third. And we're working it out towards Gordon. Gordon up against Nico Williams, two players who are in direct confrontation in the Premier League on Sunday at St James's Park in that Newcastle win over Forest. The ball goes out towards Declan Rice. Rice back inside his own half again. Another opportunity for Anderson on halfway. Just turns it away from Moore, lays it back for Rice. Here's the long switch of play out towards Saka. De Silva read it, probably the smallest man on the field, but he climbs high enough to be able to head it away. Konsa can pick it up. Back from him to Elliot Anderson. Anderson to Morgan Rogers between the lines, and he's got goal side. He's flicked it in towards Declan Rice across the edge of the 6-yard box, smuggled away by Roden. It was a vital touch from him, and then Rice can't control it. The offside flag was up anyway, and it's a free kick to Wales. 3-0 with 7 to go to half time.
Yeah, I'm interested to ask Tom this question, Jim. You know, the game's almost gone now, so if you're Wales, what do you do at half time in regard to all your plans? Because the 11 out there are getting nothing out of this game at the moment from a physical or moral point of view. Do you make wholesale changes at half time?
Yes, potentially yes. I think you'll definitely see changes earlier than originally planned off the back of this, but I'd imagine that you'd get in at half time, maybe try and tweak the system. Maybe it's not quite how we expected England to play, and maybe the press just isn't right, because at the minute the front four are pressing on their own, and as soon as England break past that, they're into the back four too easily, and it's just not working. So maybe switch to a back three as well, potentially.
Here's Konsa coming down the right hand side of the penalty area, but his driven ball is too heavy for Gordon. He's going to be fielded by Jed Spence. A back for Gordon, another ball in from him, and attacked by Ollie Watkins, cleared by Brooks, out on the edge of the penalty area for Anderson, who resists the urge to shoot, as he was implored to do by the fans, and he'll just work it back instead towards John Stones. Stones out towards the England right again for Konsa. Konsa midway between the right hand side of the penalty area and the right hand touchline. Rogers playing it down the line for Anderson, and sliding in at the far post. Watkins, almost by the shadow of the bar, hasn't been able to turn it in from close range.
I think he's hurt himself as well. He's gone in and collided with a goal post. Oh, and I'll tell you what, he's took the post right on his knee by the looks of things, and he looks in some pain. I don't like the look of this, Jim.
Well, he only had eyes for the ball and not for the frame of the goal. Threw himself in to try and get the touch. He did get a touch on the ball, hoiked it wide, but the collision was absolutely inevitable, and that looks like a very, very sore one, Tom.
Yeah, and it should be 4. He's 2 yards out from goal, and if Harry Kane's playing, he puts that away without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, we just hope he's okay there, because that did look really nasty with the collision into the post.
It gives us a chance to go back to that point that you were making about the potential switch to a back three, and what Craig can do to try and stop the flow.
Yeah, and a back three can be seen as negative, but England have got so many forward runners that you'd actually just be passing them on to the defender. At the minute, with England's system, with the two centre-halves occupied already, when anyone runs forward from midfield, then the midfielder has to track them. If you then switch to a three, they could potentially just pass them on to the spare centre-back. So, look, I don't think this is an easy fix. This breaking play is probably what Wales need, but they certainly need to change the press up front, because just running aimlessly at players, hoping for them to give you the ball back when you're in half a pitch and you've got players like Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson, who are the most comfortable players on the pitch, on the ball, creating overloads, it's going to be a long night, and that's exactly what it looks like at the minute.
Well, Watkins is back on his feet, and the encouraging aspect is that he's being led away towards the far touchline rather than towards this near one, which would make you believe that he is going to be able to continue, but he's still got pain etched right across his face as he slid in. I think initially what happened is maybe the studs of his left boot just got caught in the turf, and that meant that he just lost his footing and made his way forward. His left knee hit the post. That would explain the miss as well, the fact that his left boot got caught in the turf before that contact was made. He is going to be able to continue. England sent Marcus Rashford out to warm up, but I think they're going to try and give Watkins to half-time. The stretch which had been taken on has now made its way back, I'm delighted to say, without Ollie Watkins on it. We're back underway. Austria 5 up against San Marino now, with Stefan Posch scoring the latest. Harry Wilson just dropping deep, finding Joe Rodon. Now to Ben Davis, 99th cap for the defender today. Played out to the left for David Brooks. Brooks goes back for De Silva. Now through the midfield for Rodon. Rodon inside the centre circle. Wilson drops deep to show for the ball. Cullen making a run down the inside left channel, but Ben Davis has worked it wide for Brooks instead. Brooks just standing one up towards the edge of the penalty area, half cleared, comes out for Harry Wilson, who tries his luck from distance, but he goes over the bar. But a rare sight of England's goal for one of the men in red. Harry Wilson bending one in from 20 yards or so, but over the bar, Tom.
Yeah, he was never going to pass there, was he? These chances have been few and far between, and although he's 25 yards out, we have seen him put them in the top corner in his career. So, especially on his left foot, he looks to bend it in the far corner, but just a little wayward over the bar there.
Jordan Pickford has now gone 672 minutes since he last conceded a goal for England. He currently holds the record, which he set a few years ago, 726 minutes, so 12 hours and 6 minutes. We might have work to do here. England have given it away from a goal kick, playing across the edge of their own penalty area. The loose ball seized upon by Brennan Johnson. Johnson's got it again now on the right-hand touchline. Ball in behind everybody except for David Brooks. Brooks working it down towards Kiefer Moore. Good sliding challenge comes in from Gahey to get it away. Brooks with a shot from the edge of the penalty area that spoons off an England man high up in the air, and then Rogers clears, comes back out to Ampadu, who's tried his luck, and that's blocked. Now Brooks helping it back inside the penalty area. Spence can head away, and Wales' most potent passage of pressure so far comes to nothing as Saka clears his lines. Wales get to that first though with Rodon. Rodon back for Wilson to Williams, and now to Ampadu, down for De Silva. And the ball goes back inside the centre circle. Ben Davis finding Carl Darlow, but that was much better, Tom. Much more cohesive attacking play from your countrymen.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, that's the sort of sustained pressure you want to try and build, but you take two backward passes when you could play forward, and look, England, it just allows England to get right back up the pitch, and now we're back with Carl Darlow in goals on the ball. So from what was such a dangerous position to be back here, it is a bit disappointing.
Do you know what? For all the good play that England have done and everything, it all boils down to the fact England, when they've had to, they've worked harder defensively than the Welsh. I'm telling you, and that is quite damning. If you're the Welsh and you're coming to Wembley, the one thing you do is you put more sweat on the shirt than any English player. That is non-negotiable.
Well, we talked during that game against Andorra about the fact that they were so well drilled and well organised. They have to play the same way week in or week out, game in, game out, but they know what they're doing. They're always up against players that are better than them, but they're very well drilled. What we've seen from two sides ranked between 30 and 40 in the world rankings in Serbia and now tonight against Wales, that they haven't had that same defensive organisation and resilience and maybe, dare I say it, on occasion work ethic. Here's Bukayo Saka making his way forward for England towards the edge of the penalty area. The ball curved in and headed away. Comes back out for Stones. We're in a couple of minutes of added time. Austria 6 up. Denmark 3 up away to Belarus. Rasmus Højlund's got a couple of those. Gordon playing the ball in here. And England will end the first half with corner number 5 as they look to try and garner a 4-0 advantage over Wales before half-time. Had joy from corners already tonight. And Declan Rice will go out to retrieve the ball that has just been kicked down and hit the corner the flag itself over on that far touchline. England set up inside the penalty area. Gordon, Rodgers not too far away from him, and then there are another 4 players, including Ollie Watkins, round by the penalty spot, all waiting to make different movements inside that penalty area now. In comes the delivery, and Gahey arriving at the far post has headed it wide.
I think there was a touch by a Welsh defender just in front of Gahey that probably saved the 4th goal going in.
I think the offside flag actually came up as well, and it's going to be a free kick to Wales. It might be the last kick of the first half, but it is a half in which England have been completely dominant. Wales haven't been able to create much. England going forward rampant inside the opening 20 minutes. And indeed, Cardalo's goal kick is the last action of the first 45 minutes, in which England have been much the better side, scoring their quickest goal since the final of Euro 2020, scoring 3 in the opening 20 minutes for the first time since 1987, and Wales have had no response. Rodgers, Watkins and Saka all on the score sheet. Saka's goal, absolutely sublime. Half-time, it's England 3, Wales 0.
Well, that first 20 minutes was absolutely brutal if you're Welsh. It was fantastic if you're English. And that Saka goal was an absolute joy to behold. It was something of beauty, unsavable. You couldn't defend it. It was just absolute joy. And what an important player he will be next summer for England. But Stuart Pearce has just said something which I think we all need to go back and check on. Tom Lockyer, I want to know what you made of Stuart Pearce just saying England have worked harder than Wales. Is it a fair point? And if it is a fair point, how on earth can that be the case?
I don't think it's a fair point, no. I'd actually disagree with that, because just purely on the fact that when England control the ball so easily and so much, I don't know what the possession stats are, when it then turns over, it's a lot easier to go and rat it back initially, and that's why they look so good. That being said, when you're Wales and you have to defend deep, and you're chasing shadows, because that is what they have done the whole half. It is then hard to try and, work hard or look like you're working hard, but they are working hard, maybe just not running as hard on that initial turnover.
Well, the possession stats are 2/3 England, 1/3 Wales. If you look at the total touches inside the opposition box, Stuart Pearce, it says 5 for Wales, but 4 of those came in a flurry towards the end of the half when England gave the ball away on the edge of their own box. For most of that half, they had 1 touch in the opposition box. There's no attacking threat whatsoever from Wales. It's like a training exercise at times for England, isn't it?
I think it's honestly probably one of the easiest games they've played in. I always find a yardstick of how you're playing as a team is if the opposition are bearing down on your final third and you've got 3/4 players still up the pitch looking back at the goal, they're not working hard enough. For me, that's how I view things, and that's happened. Brennan Johnson's let the fullback go past on so many occasions. If I was Williams, I'd have him by the throat now and say, hey, get yourself back here and stay with the fullback, because I've seen England do it, and both Gordon and Saka have dropped back into a position where if they just glance to their right or left, they can see the fullback. So you can't get overloaded, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to work back into shape and get the shape, and then play from there.
This isn't a game for the Welsh, for people who just want to run forward and not run back. And I would love to know what Craig Bellamy is saying in that changing room right now, because ever from the get-go he said, if you don't want to run and you don't want to work hard, and I assume he means forward and back, then you're not going to play in this team. And Stuart's right, we've seen people running forward who haven't then ran back. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he's got anyone by the throat in there.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson is an interesting one, because you're talking about a winner here, Tom. You're talking about somebody who's a Premier League footballer who's contributed to Spurs' success last season. He scored the winning goal in the final for him, so he knows the application needed to be a top-level professional footballer. And believe me, on social media, it's being noticed that Brennan Johnson is not running back and helping out his teammate. So, I mean, he's got to drag him off, surely. That's the only way. He can't get caught up in a big fist fight in the dressing room at half-time when they're 3-0 down, the manager.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there in there at the minute. That being said, I think Stuart's right. If I'm Nico Williams, I'm absolutely raging. Like, there's no way you're going to leave me. Not only 1v1, but he's had 2v1s against him at times as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a long night for Nico if that carries on. Whether he gives him time to rectify it, or whether this changes how he looks at Belgium now. It has really been that sort of game at the minute. That being said, take the two set pieces away and it's 1-0 and doesn't look as bad, but the game does look bad.
Yeah, come on. I love the positivity you've tried to spin.
I think
there
as well, we've got to put a slant on what England have done. England have utilised the space they've been given. They've also got the ability to bring Rashford off the bench and Eze, who will thrive in this amount of space if this continues in the second half. The power of England at the moment as well, and let's not lose track of this, Madueke was our best player last month. He's injured and Saka comes in, and all of a sudden you think, wow, an embarrassment of riches is incredible.
And by the way, what a goal from Bukayo Saka. That's special, isn't it?
One of the best I've seen. Honestly, it was brilliant. When he received the ball out there, sometimes you try to read the game and you think he's going to come inside. Is he going to feather a little cross into the far post? And he had one thing on his mind. He used both defenders to fade that ball around. It's like as a defender you try to get in line with the ball, but you can't do anything about that. The curl was brilliant. Darlow, you can't get anywhere near that. I thought it was a wonderful goal.
Well, you were a left back, Stu. I mean, is there anything, you can't attach any blame to De Silva there, can you?
No, you can't do anything about that, to be honest with you. The only thing you can do is stop him receiving the ball in the first place.
Indeed, England have been cruising, maybe a bit too much, because the last 15 minutes or so of the first half made some sloppy errors after Jordan Pickford got bored and decided to give Wales a bit of a chance. But it's 3-0, it's comfortable, and Thomas Tuchel looked happy going down the tunnel at half-time. You listen to Kick-Off on Talksport with Ladbrokes, 18+, begambleaware.org. Let's get half-time from that crucial qualifier for Scotland, Paul Mitchell.
Scotland 0, Greece 0. Happiness in short supply in Hampden Park, probably best described as a tough watch. Scotland have offered very little. It's been a Greek stroll without a goal. Christoulis with a low cross. Vangelis Pavlidis of Benfica after 7 minutes. An appalling miss just several yards out. How he didn't connect and put Greece one up, I don't even think he yet knows. An example of how poor Scotland have been. Well, they got to throw level with the 18-yard box of the Greeks with about 7 minutes to go in the half. They didn't even get the ball into the box. I'm not trying to be down on Scotland, I'm just being honest. Half-time's been terrible. Scotland 0, Greece 0.
Honesty is what we want, mate. You've got to give it. Maybe better in the second half, but for England, so far, so very, very good. Rodgers, Watkins, Saka with the goals. And at half-time, live on TalkSport, it's England 3, Wales 0, with the second half to come.
Kick off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18+ gambleaware.org. People across the country are feeling all warm and fuzzy about their heat pumps.
Installing it during the renovation was an easy call. The bathroom tiles, however...
It's much nicer than my old boiler. The place is just always warm and cosy like.
The government grant was the help we needed to start upgrading.
You get a lovely steady temperature. Walking around without my slippers, are you?
Feel all warm and fuzzy inside with a £7,500 government grant towards your heat pump at gov.uk/clean energy.
Eligibility criteria apply. See website for details.
This is Josh. Josh is happy. He's just bought a brand spanking new TV. What he doesn't know is he could have bought a premium TV without spending a fortune. You see, Hisense's award-winning TVs come with premium features like Mini LED, Quantum Dot and Dolby Atmos, but don't cost the earth. Josh is sad. Sorry, Josh. Choose smarter. Choose Hisense. Rated 5-star for reliability by Which.
At Lidl, we value play that inspires little minds. It's why we've brought back our wooden toy event. Grab over 100 classic toys from $7.99, like our railway set or dressing table. Download Lidl Plus and save up to 20%. Lidl, more to value. 18 plus GB only. Selected stores subject to availability. T's and C's apply. See lidl.co.uk/LPTV. Offer ends 15th of October.
We got gaming fans covered with tables and slots. Get free spins, bonus wins, and daily jackpots. Play blackjack and poker from the comfort of home. Hit a Vegas casino with one tap of your phone. Sign up is easy on all your devices. Exclusive promotions and bet boosted prices. In the no punters are sharing this tip. Get the king of the app pack. Talksport bet is a hit.
18 plus, gambleaware.org.
From the case files of Miss Maureen 118212, the case of the replacement rodent.
A woman called asking for the number of a pet shop. She needed a new hamster before her son returned from school. I didn't ask what happened to the original hamster. Best not to know some things.
Maureen 118212. For directory inquiries, call Maureen on 118212. Calls cost $2.50 per call plus 75p a minute with a minimum 1 minute charge plus your phone company's access charge.
For a utility tool and a deal that sticks, get 3 tubes of Hippo Pro 3 for the price of 2. An adhesive, sealant and filler, all in 1 tube. It cures underwater, touch dries in just 12 minutes, sticks to virtually anything, and is now available with a 3 for 2 offer. That's serious sticking power at a seriously good price. Grab yours today at your local merchant, because with Hippo Pro 3, you can stick it good.
Whatever kind of football fan you are, Talksport and the Coral Daily Download are here for it to celebrate the fans every day. Whether you're a front row seater or a prawn sandwich eater, a half and half scarf wearer or a lifelong faithful torchbearer, a retro shirt for every game or bare-chested, even in the rain. For all the latest news, reaction and odds this season, don't miss the Coral Daily Download every morning from 6 on Talksport with Coral. We're here for the fans. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
The football animal is alive. Kick-off live on Talksport.
How can a match with your neighbours ever be routine, even when, as tonight, it's a friendly, albeit one with the smallest of F's? It's played back and a right-footed effort comes in. Perfect start for England. They're ahead inside 2.5 minutes. Gahey kept it alive, pulled it back for Morgan Rogers, who kept his nerve to siphon into the bottom left-hand corner. And it's played across the face of goal for Watkins, who cannot miss. And he's there to bundle it over the line and double England's advantage. Saka turning it onto his left foot. Oh, it's a beautiful goal.
And that is one of the best goals I have ever seen in this stadium. An incredible finish.
Yeah, 3-0 to England. All the England subs out there warming up. Rashford has been out warming up, doing some sprints. Miles Lewis-Skelly, Chiesa, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We could see some changes for England and for Wales at half-time. But let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
So England are 3-0 up, 10-3 for it to be 3-0 at full time. 12-5, England to win 4-0. England to win 5-0, 19-5. Wales to get one back. 3-1 scoreline at the end, 9-1. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus, be gambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Now, Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbon-Lahore back on Talksport Breakfast from 6 a.m. tomorrow, live from the Arnold Clark showroom in Glasgow. They'll be joined by 6-time Premier League winner and former England midfielder Nicky Butts, the former Everton, Rangers and Scotland captain David Weir, and former Scotland player Charlie Mulgrew as well. They'll be giving away a car on the show. That's from 6 a.m. live from Glasgow on Talksport tomorrow. And don't forget to tune into tomorrow's Talksport Daily podcast. That'll be available tomorrow morning from where you get your podcast. Stuart, Jim and myself will be breaking down everything you need to know from this game between England and Wales. And you'll be hearing from Thomas Tuchel and some of the England stars post-match as well. You'll also be able to hear some of those interviews on the Sports Bar when we're done here at Wembley after 10 o'clock. And by the way, in case you missed it, today's episode with Ali McCoist and Andy Townsend of the TalkSport Daily Podcast focused on why it's so important to beat the home nations, be it in a friendly, a qualifier or a World Cup match. So give that a listen while you're at it too. Both episodes are available on all the usual podcast platforms. Tom Lockyer, we talked about all the England subs warming up, and I know you mentioned it in the first half about potential changes in terms of personnel. Is there a lot that Wales can do, or a lot that Bellamy would want to do? Is he just writing this off now?
No, I don't think he's writing off. I think this is a matter of pride now. He'll be in there saying, right, let's have some desire. We got 7,000 Welsh fans in that corner who have come a long way to support us, and we've given them absolutely nothing to cheer about so far. So yeah, I think for me as well is like, when you do get the ball, there's not enough angles for people to it's too easy at the minute to go back. Not enough people are like, give me the ball, because England are swarming them, and you're going to be receiving the ball with a player up your backside, so it's not going to be easy, and it's too easy at the minute for people to be hiding. And you want someone just say, give me the ball, like Joe Allen we've had in the past, who under any circumstances will take the ball under pressure and use it. It's too easy to go back at the minute, but I don't think that's the worst of Wales' problems at the minute.
No, and what we must bear in mind is the levels we're talking about here. So Dan James, Aaron Ramsey had to pull out. In came two Cardiff City youngsters. So they're both playing in League One, and this is what Craig Bellamy has got to pick from. So we've got to bear that in mind as well, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And if we're going to have it right, Wales got a population of 3 million, and we're in the capital here in London, and there's 9 million living in London. So there's 3 times the amount of people to choose from in London alone, let alone Wales. So yes, we're always going to be the underdog to our big brothers as such, but you know, we've always had pride, we've always had desire, we've always had fight, and I think the lack of that in that first half will be the worrying thing.
Players are out for the second half. England 3, Wales 0. Craig Bellamy said they'd die a slow death if they defended deep. He's decided not to defend at all, and Wales died a quick death instead here at Wembley. Second half with Tom Lockyer, Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot.
And Ollie Watkins hasn't reappeared for the second half, Adrian, because of that collision with the post. Not taking any chances, Marcus Rashford has come on to replace him. Rashford, who started the first 2 games under Tuchel and also started against Andorra. He scored the 5th goal in Serbia from the penalty spot. And he has come on. It looks as though he's going to be playing on the left, and Anthony Gordon will be playing through the middle in the role that we often see him in for Newcastle United, or sporadically see him in for Newcastle, but certainly a role that he has played there. I think he started 3 in Newcastle's 7 games this season as a central striker. This is club teammate, former club teammate Elliot Anderson in possession. Long ball over the top. Rashford will chase that, and he's going to get there as well, down by the corner flag. Faced up by Nico Williams, the one Welshman on a yellow card so far. Pulls it back for Jed Spence, whose right-footed shot might have come close. Had Cullen not thrown his head into the line of fire, and he deflects away and out of play for an England throw. Here's Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, super raking ball there by Anderson. Set Rashford away, and he's a galloping runner, we know that. And Spence was trying to fade one in the far corner, similar to Saka, but good defending.
England have it again, but deeper over on the far touchline, which is the right hand side. England in all white shirts and shorts with dark blue shorts, and they're kicking from right to left. Rashford with a touch, goes back for his goalkeeper. Jordan Pickford will be hoping to break his own record by keeping a clean sheet in the second half tonight, and then getting through the opening 7 minutes of the match in Latvia without conceding on Tuesday, which will be a new all-time England record for a goalkeeper without conceding. Just a little stumble in possession there from John Stones, who received a routine pass, fell over it, was able to get back on his feet in time to play a subsequent safe ball stop England getting caught in possession 10 yards outside their own penalty area. England lining up with Pickford in goal, Conser, Stones, Gahey and Spence. Anderson anchors the midfield in front of them. Saka and Rashford wide, Rice and Rodgers in the centre of midfield, and Anthony Gordon now playing through the middle. Ollie Watkins off. What did you make of Watkins' performance before the injury? Just get your thoughts on that in a moment. Sorry, Stu, as Rice picked it up on the left-hand side of the penalty area. He's pulled it back here for Rashford. Rashford darting through, showing the confidence born of that purple patch he's having for Barcelona at the moment. It was blocked, and then a free kick is given away for a foul on Nico Williams. What did you make of Ollie Watkins' first half performance?
I thought he had a really solid game. He was worth at least a 7 out of 10, I would have thought. Maybe even an 8 out of 10, Ollie Watkins. I'm not trying to guide Adrian at all with his marks later on.
I noticed that.
No, I thought he had a really solid performance. Got himself a goal as well. He was in and around any danger zones.
Johnson is flagged offside here, and it's a free kick to England. Wales lining up Darlow in goal, Williams, Roden, Ben Davis and De Silva, Ampadu and Cullen, Johnson and Brooks wide, Wilson pushing forward in support of Kiefer Moore up front. There's so much going on in the first half. We didn't get to the England trivia question, but I will tell you in a moment what it is. I'll give you 20 minutes or so to think about it. We'll canvass opinion, our esteemed colleagues, to see if they can come up with the answers, and go through the answers for you about 20 minutes from time. The ball is with England's Elliot Anderson. Anderson putting too much on that, and it's going to drift out of play for a goal kick. So here is the question tonight. 9 of today's Wales side play their club football in England. But who are the 3 players in history to have been capped by England whilst playing their club football in Wales? So who are the 3 players that have been capped by England whilst playing their club football in Wales? As I say, we'll give you 15-20 minutes to think about it, and we'll see what the guys say. Sheehan Cullen with the ball forward. It's going to be brought down over on the far side of the England midfield by Anderson. We're back for Mark Gahey. Gahey to Stones. Stones 20 yards inside his own half. Rashford playing right on the shoulder of Nico Williams. In fact, he's in behind him, just waiting for the ball to be driven into space. England have it again, but much deeper. Gahey for Stones. Now for Anderson again, who can turn away. Go back for Gahey. Now down towards Spence. Gordon making an early run through the middle. Spencer's played the more conservative pass back for Mark Gahey instead. And now we'll go out towards Declan Rice. Rice sliding the ball forward into the path of Bukayo Saka. Saka almost able to play in Ezri Konsa, who made a good run forward. He's got some backtracking to do now, though, as Wales bring it away with Ben Davis. And then Cullen's caught in possession, and Anthony Gordon's the beneficiary of that. And he's got Rashford in the middle waiting for the ball to be pulled back. It didn't get there thanks to some last-ditch defending. That means it's nothing more than a corner.
Yeah, I think we've just seen there the difference between the two sides. As I say, Wales good turnover of possession, but they never were ever comfortable on the ball, because England tracked back, ratted back, turned it over, and then when Gordon was attempting to find Rashford, correct ball, but good defending.
And Tom Lockyer was a crucial block there by Joe Roden.
Yeah, it's almost a certain goal if that goes through his legs. It's a tap in at the far post for Rashford there, but it was Ben Davis coming out with the ball, and he just had no options, so he had to go backwards again. Then Liam Cullen has no options. He ends up giving the ball away.
In comes the corner, played short into the feet of Anderson. Back out of that right-hand side for Rice, who got himself back onside. Little reverse ball inside the penalty area, and the ball cannons back off the bar. And England very close to scoring a fourth. Ball at the feet of Morgan Rogers. He just took a touch and then rifled it towards goal. And that bar away to our left-hand side, still reverberating.
The room Rogers had there was incredible. Well worked corner by England. Looked as though, I think that might have been ruled offside if it stuck from Declan Rice's point of view. But the movement of Rogers, he just peeled off and created in the box, just outside the 6-yard box, best part of 3 yards.
It's brilliant movement from Rodgers, that is. As soon as Ben Davies leaves him to go and close down the ball on the edge of the box, he just peels off the side of him and ends up finding space in what was a very packed box. But that'll be another concern for Wales, another set piece that they've struggled from.
Now the ball has been driven through the midfield by Johnson, and it found its way through for Brooks. Try to get Wilson making a run in behind Jed Spence, but he put too much on the pass, and Jordan Pickford came out and made the save. So still England 3, Wales 0 here on Talksport. Cody Gakpo scored the second for the Netherlands, who lead in Malta by 2 goals. Now the Pharaohs 3 up at home to Montenegro. Rice, ball inside the penalty area here from Rashford, but it was overhit and Saka couldn't control it. So very little chance. He had to stop his run very quickly, put the brakes on and flick a left foot out behind him, but couldn't bring it under control. It goes out of play for a throw that Wales will take. A reminder to catch the latest Daily Football Pod. Adrian Durham, myself and Stuart Pearce dissecting this England performance straight after the game. It's going to be out from 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Also a reminder that TalkSport's now on your smart TV, so just grab the app on Android TV and Google TV, or even on Prime Video. TalkSport live on your screen as well as your speakers. Our next live football comes from League One, an all-northwest clash between Stockport and Blackpool, with excellent out of Bridge Saturday afternoon from 3. And that is live and exclusive to National Radio on TalkSport 2 this Saturday. Back in action Tuesday night, England in Riga. All the build-up starting at 7:45 kick-off. Latvia against England, and depending on what else happens that night, if Serbia don't win on Saturday and England win in Latvia, will be enough to cement qualification for the World Cup. That game that Serbia are playing at home to Albania, but with injury and suspension worries as well. Saturday, Serbia-Albania. Just to reiterate, if Serbia don't win that, England win in Latvia, we'll see them qualify with 2 games to spare. 3-0 up and coasting here. It was 3-0 when the sides last met here 5 years ago, almost to the day. Bukayo Saka made his debut for England that day. Goals from Calvert-Lewin, Cody and Ings, giving England a 3-0 win on that occasion. Wales have got it here with Kiefer Moore. He works the ball out to the far touchline for Brooks. Back from him to De Silva. Now to Ethan Ampadu. Ampadu into the feet of Wilson, straight back again. Now to Joe Rodon. To Davis behind him. There's only one man behind him. That's Carl Darlow coming outside of his penalty area to bring it under control. Tom, are you surprised that no changes have been made? Yes, a very difficult balancing act for Craig Bellamy between making sure that this stays decent-ish and thinking about that game coming up on Monday night against Belgium, which clearly is the more significant of the two in terms of the future.
Yeah, I don't think the plan changes, does it? I would imagine the boys would have had a rocket at half-time and, said, that's not acceptable, let's go and show what we're about. You've got 15 minutes or so. So, yeah, obviously Belgium is the main focus here, but you don't want to have your pants pulled down by your neighbours, do you? So, yeah, it's about pride now, and we've started the second half much better.
Ball in from Nico Williams inside the penalty area. Oh, Brooks with a volley that Pickford saved. Kiefer Moore trying to get to the follow-up, and his looping header just goes onto the roof of the net. That was Wales' best passage of play in the game by a street. Long ball in from the right-hand side, and Brooks unmarked coming in, and Pickford got a left foot to it, Tom, to be able to get it away.
Yeah, it's a great ball into the box, and it finds its way to the far post, and David Brooks on his left foot. We've seen him so many times over the years for Bournemouth and Wales, put this in the bottom corner into the net, and I have to say it's an absolutely fantastic save from Pickford. It hasn't just hit him, he's actually moved his knee down to get to that, and Kiefer Moore then can't get on the follow-up on target and ends up over the bar. But way better from Wales, and like I said just now, they've started the second half much better.
Yeah, it's certainly great ball in there, and Brooks, I don't know what more you can do at the far post there. He's got a really good contact on it, he's kept it nice and low, and Pickford's done well to get a solid knee behind it.
The play has stopped because John Stones has gone down with an injury, and that was picked up as Moore attacked the loose ball off Pickford, and there was a coming together between Stones and Kiefer Moore. Now John Stones is down receiving treatment. Play 56, England 3, Wales 0. Greece with a great opportunity at Hampden Park. Paul Mitchell.
Well, Scotland are living dangerously here, Jim. Scotland 0, Greece 0. But again, Pavlidis was the man doing the set-up work. Georgios Maros had an opportunity from about 8 yards out on the angle, and he slashed the ball and sent it wide. And really poor effort. Bad news for Scotland, bad news for Brentford. Aaron Hickey is down. He's wearing a knee brace on the left knee. That's the knee he's injured. They're looking at perhaps stretching him off here at the moment, so a change going to come for Scotland. It's still not pretty for the Scots, but Greece haven't found the breakthrough. That's the only good thing. Scotland 0, Greece 0.
And they're getting no favours in Minsk, because the other game in that group, Group C, is currently Belarus 0, Denmark 4. Hoyland's got a couple of those. Patrick Dorgu, Manchester United, has scored as well. Denmark 4 up in Belarus. Scotland being held at home by Greece. So that group, as things stand right now, Denmark 7, Scotland 5, Greece 4, and Belarus none. The play resumes. Stones back on his feet. Patel Talksport over the course of the week that he contemplated retiring from international football in general, because of the injuries that he had picked up over the course of last season. There were times that he couldn't see this day happening, but a year after last putting on an England shirt, he's back at the heart of the defence and back in possession here, 10 yards outside his own penalty area. He's gone to his left-hand side. Declan Rice has got it now, back from him to Mark Gahey, who's got another couple of international assists to his name this evening. Ball played back by Stones to Pickford. Now worked out towards the right-hand side. Saka trying to turn his man, and he's got the run on Ben Davies. Davies quickly back goal side. Can't prevent the ball being played forward towards Concert. Cross comes Roden to sweep up and put it out of play for a throw.
Yeah, good defending there by Roden. He read the danger, and he had to be fair. Motored across and just got there before Concert. If he hadn't have done that, England were bearing in on the far post.
3-0 to England. Throw taken short into the feet of Morgan Rogers. Back from him for Saka. Played just less than an hour. The 3-0 lead accrued inside the opening 20 minutes. Spence. Down for Marcus Rashford. Who scored that extraordinary goal in the game at St James's Park that we brought Newcastle Barcelona in the Champions League. Ball goes into the feet of Declan Rice. Play forward by Spence. Spence wiring into the first challenge, won it, then the second one, won that as well from Kiefer Moore, works it out towards Rogers. Rogers to Bukayo Saka, the angles tight, he wins the corner with a right-footed shot that is blocked away by the Silva.
Just looking down to our left there, there's we've got 5-6 subs just going through their paces at the moment at reasonably high tempo. I would suggest they're 5. Suggest they'll be coming up very, very shortly.
A crowd here with around 7,000 Welshmen swelling the numbers, just a little over 78,000 tonight. Most of them are happy. Corner to be taken on the England right-hand side by Declan Rice. This could well be England's penultimate home match before the World Cup. So important, these games in front of their own support. They played very well this evening, much the best home performance under Thomas Tuchel. In comes the delivery, it's headed away by Roden. Comes back outside the box where Anderson just stoops and steers a little header into the path of Declan Rice again. Now comes down for Rashford. Rashford playing a little 1-2 with Bukayo Saka. Back for Spence. Spence to Declan Rice, has dropped that little bit deeper, the England skipper. Play forward by him for Anderson once more. Now Spence will come forward. Still space on the England left for Marcus Rashford. Better second half performance from Wales, as Tom Lockyer has been saying. Come the closest to a goal in this second half, and the Rodgers effort that hit the bar at one end, and David Brooks forcing a fine save out of Pickford at the other. Ball worked down the left-hand touchline for Saka, and Spence has been fouled. And it's a free kick that will be taken by England about 6 or 7 yards inside Wales territory. We'll hear from Stuart Pearce in a moment. Firstly, though, here's the Welsh international defender Tom Lockyer.
Yeah, it's a much better second half for Wales. They've been managed to. The thing that sticks out for me actually is they're not just pressing aimlessly anymore. They're happier to sit a bit deeper in a bit more of a block and press when it's on to, instead of just running aimlessly at them, which we found out first half does not work against these players.
Here's Rice finding Anderson inside the penalty area. He forced to come back out for Jed Spence. Spence controlling it, lays it back for Declan Rice. Rice is 10 yards outside the box for playing it back for Stones. Now out towards Bukayo Saka again. Saka near the corner of the penalty area. Back from him to Konsa. Konsa flicking it forward, straight at David Brooks. Brooks controls it, almost lost it on the edge of his own penalty area. And now the Welsh will work it forward with De Silva, but it's a long aimless ball down the left-hand touchline. We're going to be seeing substitutions aplenty. Chris Mepham is coming on very shortly. We're also going to be seeing Capaccio, Sheehan and Jordan James. 4 changes for Wales are imminent. England with a free kick about 20 yards outside the Welsh penalty area, and a goal at Hampden Park for Talksport's Paul Mitchell.
And it's a first international goal for Kostas Tsimikas, the defender from Roma. He's been romping into the box all evening. Lovely play on the right-hand side. It felt him, really calm finish for his first international goal. It's no more than the Greeks deserve. Scotland in trouble at home. Scotland 0, Greece 1.
That means that Scotland will fall to third in the group if it stays that way. It's Denmark 7, Greece 6, Scotland 4 and Belarus 0. And that will be a problem. The Welsh changes, the players coming off: Ampadu, Williams, Ben Davis and Harry Wilson. And they're going to be replaced by Mepham, Capaccio, Sheehan and Jordan James. Tom, what are your thoughts on that quartet of changes being made about 20 minutes into the second half?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what we all expected, wasn't it? I think you can see, Ben Davis has not played any football this season, so, you don't want to take any chances with him going late into the game. Ampadu just coming back from injury, and Sheehan coming on is a great replacement, actually. He's very, very comfortable on the ball. He'll never shy away from getting on it, and maybe that's just what we need at the minute. Obviously, Roland Capaccio as well, young lad coming in from Cardiff City. He made his debut against Canada, and now he's got another great test now against Marcus Rashford. So this will be a good test for him.
Yeah, it's been a great rise for Roland Capaccio. When he made his league debut last November, he's only played 19 first-team games for Cardiff, but winning his second cap for his country tonight. And he's on a right back. A long diagonal ball swung by England's Mark Gahey out to Bukayo Saka. Faced up by De Silva. He's able to play it back for Konsa. England have made just the one change so far. Half-time, Rashford coming on for Ollie Watkins. Gahey back for Stones. Stones out to the England right-hand side again for Konsa. Shown his versatility again tonight. We mentioned in the first half, Stu, that he's not seen very much action over the course of the last 12 months at right back. You'd never know it, just the way that he's slotted back in there to what can be a problem for position for England. No Livramento or James through injury at the moment. England bring it forward here. Rice trying to attack a high ball played inside the penalty area, but Roden heads it away. It's brought down by Anderson under pressure from Kiefer Moore, and he's just breezed past him and Brooks. Ball back out of the edge of the penalty area where Gordon takes over. Anderson just given a little shove in the back as he plays it back for Konsa, who then exchanges passes with Gordon. And it goes back out to Anthony Gordon again, level with the edge of the Welsh penalty area. Anderson into the feet of Saka. Saka taking a touch and then clipping one down to Rashford. Rashford's got Spence on the overlap. Rashford turns, volleys in inside the penalty area, and it's whacked away by Joe Roden.
Yeah, England finding it more difficult breaking down now because the likes of Johnson and Brooks on the other side have just dropped that little bit deeper and just getting goal side.
Now the VAR is having a look at another goal at Hampden Park. Paul Mitchell.
Well, at the moment it's Scotland 1, Greece 1. Ryan Christie scoring 2 minutes after Scotland fell behind. But there is a goal check. VAR are looking at the part played, I think, by Shea Adams, who was right in between the central defenders. It was Mavropanos, who headed the ball away, but he was under pressure. The ball fell to Ryan Christie about 8 yards out, and Christie drilled the ball into the back of net. This goal check is taking some time, Jim, but at the moment it's one apiece, but we await what VAR are going to tell us.
Paul, thanks. We'll be back with you. England are going to be making some changes in a moment. First of all, though, they've won a corner, which is their 7th without reply tonight. And Declan Rice comes across to this near touchline, pick up the ball and take the acclaim of the England supporters as he just bends down in front of the electronic hoardings, kicks the ball back down towards the corner flag, the white flag on the pole, standing lifelessly at the moment. No breeze to be had on a unseasonably warm night here in North London. In comes Rice's delivery, swung in towards the back post, headed down by John Stones, but there was a push before Stones got his head to it, and it's a free kick to Wales. Faroes 4, Montenegro 0. That's got to be just about the best result in their history. Probably too little too late in that group, but it will take them within 3 points or 4 points of the top of the group if it still stays 0-0 between the Czechs and Croatia as it is at the moment. Faroes 4, Montenegro 0. This one 3-0 to England. Rodgers on 3 minutes, Watkins on 11. 9 minutes later, Saka made it 3 with the goal of the night. England's changes are imminent. Jordan Henderson is going to be coming on. We're going to be seeing Loftus-Cheek and Gibbs-White, and also Jared Bowen as well. Ball is back with Jordan Pickford. Pickford brings it outside the penalty area and then hits one of those relatively low balls driven out towards the far side, but he's missed Saka and he goes out of play. So here come the changes. One man I want to feature on, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He's on for his 11th cap, Stu, but he hasn't played in any of England's last 84 internationals. He was last capped against the United States back in 2018. Well, Thomas Tuchel knows, and he's going to be amongst those coming on now. Great for Loftus-Cheek back after 7 years in the international wilderness.
It just shows that if you keep at it, your time will come again if you're playing well enough. He's got a great opportunity here.
And so the changes being made. Rodgers coming off. Now we're going to see Anderson off. Declan Rice is coming off, and so too Bukayo Saka. So of the front 6 players that started for England, only Anthony Gordon is still on. Jordan Henderson coming on. He will anchor the midfield in Anderson's position. Another good night for Elliot Anderson in an England shirt.
I think he's been outstanding this evening. I've got to say, very impressive, and he allows Declan to get forward. I think he's enjoyed his work tonight.
Elliot Anderson has been absolutely magnificent tonight. For me, he's been head and shoulders the best player on the park, and he might not get the plaudits he deserves just because, you know, he hasn't put one in the top bins like Bukayo Saka, but he has got a massive future ahead of him, club and country.
You hard to think that he's got so few miles on the clock in the grand scheme of things. It's on his 3rd international appearance tonight, Elliot Anderson. I talked earlier about the likelies, those that possibles and probables in Thomas Tuchel's squad. Anderson's a definite. Should he stay fit, he will definitely be going to the United States. Stones playing the ball forward. And England will work it back towards Margahey. First touch on Ruben Loftus-Cheek in an England shirt for all that time, just finding his centre half. Ball now played through the midfield towards Stones. So Jared Bowen on the right hand side, Loftus-Cheek in midfield, Gordon still playing through the middle, Rashford on the left, but he can't find a way past the young right back Capaccio. And as he makes his way forward, he's fouled by the retreating Margahey, and a yellow card is shown. Was it Spence actually that was the perpetrator of the challenge? It was. So Spence, the man that goes in the book.
I was just thinking who hasn't been brought onto the pitch, which surprised me a little bit. Ezra has not been brought on, which is my thought process would be that he would have flourished and give us a bit of a lift when the game's gone quiet from England's point of view.
Well, all 5 changes have been made. He won't get the opportunity to come on. Now that Scotland goal incidentally stood. So it is 1-1. Ryan Christie's equaliser. Scotland at home to Greece. In comes this Wales free kick. Brooks too high for more. Good save from Pickford. Threw a left fist at it and was able to beat the second header away. Another shot comes in from the edge of the penalty area. That's blocked. Brooks improvising. Tries to play it through the penalty area and can't. And Jordan Pickford's long, impressive record at the back continues with another fine save. Really well struck. And it was fine save to deny Chris Mepham. Just threw up a left hand and stopped the header going in top.
Yeah, it's a great set piece, and once again a Wales player finds himself free at the back post. This time it's Chris Mepham who gets his header back on target and back across Jordan Pickford, and I think he almost reads it, and it's quite a routine save in the end, but obviously he's not had much to do, so he's made a dive out of it as well.
I must say, Jim, whilst England have played well tonight and the scoreline's pleasing, there's a couple of times when the ball's gone in the box, in both halves to be fair, not just that one, that I'm thinking that this doesn't look particularly pleasant on the eye, I've got to say.
Here's Jarrod Bowen coming forward for England, who lead by 3-0. Bowen 10 yards outside the penalty area. Now Stones just side-footing it forward. Gordon with a little give and go, trying to get Bowen in. Couldn't do so. Loftus-Cheek is in there. He's snapping around, trying to make something happen. Wales clear. Nearly get to halfway. England win it back again with Spence. 2 England players booked. Mark Gahey's also had his name taken. Ball goes out to the England right-hand side. Bowen playing it round the corner for the run of Morgan Gibbs-White. Back he goes for Stones. Gordon drops off. And wants the ball into feet. Plays it back out for Jordan Henderson. Now back out for Bowen again. Gibbs-White. Bowen trying to bulldoze his way through the penalty area. Brooks took his time in getting it away, and that meant that Anthony Gordon could seize possession, albeit in a wider position. England go back once more for John Stones. 3-0 they lead here on Talksport. And your reaction on the sports bar at the end of this game is going to be fascinating. We'll also hear all the reaction from the headline makers and from Thomas Tuchel as well. The ball comes in here from Rashford, and Gordon takes a tumble inside the box. The VAR will have had no more than a cursory glance at that. Play continues. Carl Darlow with the ball at his feet inside his own penalty area, playing out towards Mepham. Denmark 5 up in Belarus, and England again still snaffling away, trying to win possession back with a high press around the edge of the box through Ruben Loftus-Cheek. The substitutions have clearly made a difference, but there's been a good energy about England.
Yeah, as I say, there's players that know that when they come on, they've got to have impact, you know, otherwise they might suffer either more time on the bench or even worse, not being picked in the squad.
Wales will make their final changes now, numbers 5 and 6. We're going to see Kumas and Harris come on, Johnson and Moore, the players that will be coming off. Mark Harris, who hasn't scored in his last 19 games for Oxford, hoping as he leads the line for the time that remains that he might be able to break his international duck. And Lewis Kumas, who's on loan at Birmingham from Liverpool. His father also played in a Wales-England game back in the day, Jason. And Kumas Jr. is on for the time that remains as well. 15 minutes to go. Give you the answer to the trivia question very shortly. Not the hardest one tonight. I think we've got a full house in the box here. I'm not sure. I'll give you the question again and the answer in a few moments' time. Austria 8, San Marino 0. To Hampden Park shortly as well. Wales they're bringing it forward with Mepham. Mepham's ball into Jordan James. And now Wales will be able to work it forward. It's a better ball into the feet of Mark Harris. Down towards the Welsh right-hand side. Brooks, and then a header just over the bar. Harris coming to meet it. Brooks with a great piece of improvisation, scooping it in with the outside of his left boot. Harris threw himself at it, beat Pickford to it, but his header went just over the bar.
I've got to say, that's one of the best passes I've seen all night. It was magnificent, that cross by Brooks.
Yeah, and I've seen him do that at Bournemouth. That's something he can do. He can do with his eyes closed. He's a special talent. He really is. And Harris gets half a yard in the box, but I do think he pushed John Stones in the back, and I did see the referee acknowledge it. So if it had gone in, I'm not sure it would have counted.
And still, Wales look for their first goal here at Wembley since Ian Rush scored it in 1983. He is here today, the former Liverpool striker. Wales, in fact, haven't scored in any of their last 10 away friendlies. That's a run that stretches back to a Sam Vokes goal in Montenegro back in 2009. Back in the days when goals against Montenegro meant something, which doesn't look as though they really do tonight, if not from the Faroe Islands. Mepham able to play it out towards the left-hand side for De Silva. De Silva's ball towards the edge of the centre circle is picked up by Harris. Oxford man has just dropped that little bit deeper. Lays it back for Sheehan. And then the two Welsh centre-halves exchange passes again. Now let's have another look at that trivia question. I mentioned that 9 of today's Wales side starting 11 play their club football in England. We asked you who the 3 players in history are to have been capped by England whilst playing their club football in Wales. Well, I think the boys have got 2 of them between them. Jay Bothroyd, who was at Cardiff back in 2010, and John Joe Shelvey, who was playing for Swansea in 2015. The other one, actually the most recent of the 3, Tammy Abraham, who was also on loan at Swansea from Cardiff when he won his first England cap. So Bothroyd, Shelvey and Abraham the answer tonight. Very well done if you got them all. Here's De Silva working forward towards Jordan James on the Welsh left, and he's done well with good persistence, getting it down to the left-hand touchline for Lewis Kumas, but I think the ball's just gone out, and it's going to be a throw that will be taken on the England right, and England's final change is imminent as well. We're not going to see Eza. It is going to be Miles Lewis Skelly. He will come on for Stones, which you would imagine will see Spence go from left back to right back, Lewis Skelly on at left back, and Concert will move into the middle.
Sensible, I think. I like the pairing of Stones and Gahey, I really do. And John Stones certainly had a decent game tonight, just saving those legs again.
So Stones will come off, and Lewis Skelly will come on. That is the final change. England 6. And Lewis Skelly getting the opportunity to come on, scored on his debut against Albania. 15th 18-year-old to play for England in the 21st century, which is some record over 25 years that there have been 15 18-year-olds playing for England in that time. He's recently turned 19 and he's on for his 5th cap and will get 10 minutes or so here, and has come on, as was always going to be the case, at left back, and England have reshuffled the pack defensively accordingly. Means that Cons is in a more central role, and he drives it forward from there now. Ball brought down by Jarrod Bowen. Bowen has got Gordon making a good run to his left-hand side. He's played him in. It's Gordon from a tight angle, and it's another magnificent block from Roden. He's had a great game latterly at the heart of the Welsh defence. He's been involved in a number of important defensive contributions, and that was a goal-saving challenge.
Yeah, he can shift the boy. That's twice he's used his pace there, and for everyone in the stadium, it looked like Gordon was in, because Gordon can move as well, and out of nowhere Joe Roden came sliding in, and he's been having a great season at Leeds United, and he's looked incredible again tonight.
England leading by 3-0. Another goal at Hampden Park. Which way, Paul Mitchell?
It has come for the home team. Scotland 2, Greece 1. Scotland have come from behind, and it's Bologna's Lewis Ferguson who takes the chance. Free kick played into the box. It bounced about, and Lewis Ferguson, 5 yards out, struck the ball high into the net. What a night for Scotland. They've been poor, but they lead. Scotland 2, Greece 1.
And the other game in that group now 6-0 to Denmark away to Belarus, but Scotland will still be level on points with them at the end of the night if it stays that way. Here's Gordon, and he couldn't quite work the angle. Turn it onto his right foot, and he aimed for the top right-hand corner. Didn't hit it too hard, and it was dipping and dipping, but it just didn't quite dip in time to find either the goal or the head of the onrushing Bowen.
Far too easy to break in on this right-hand side, but when he did, great 1-2, he went with purpose. Little give and go, and when the goal opened up, I don't think he had the angle because Roden had narrowed it off.
Has only scored the one goal for England so far, Anthony Gordon, which came against Ireland last November. That's part of what is now England's best goal-scoring run for many years. They've scored in a 17th successive international here this evening, which is their longest run since the 1991 season, a run that was ultimately ended by Germany in 1991. 17 successive games in which they found the net. The ball is with De Silva. Now down to the right-hand side for Capacchio. David Brooks turning in off that right flank. Getting possession again about 20 yards outside the England penalty area. Nice little over. Jordan James trying to come onto that after it was deliberately left by Harris. England get it away, but Kubas has won it back and has won Wales' first corner of the night on the left-hand side.
Well, we struggled all night defending corners, so let's see whether we can do something attacking one. And it was good play from David Brooks again, playing his pass inside, and it ends up in a Wales corner. And Brooksy goes over there now to in front of the Wales fans. Hopefully he can put one into the danger zone, and we can get one back. Would be nice.
So Pickford waiting. He's got a couple of red shirts right in front of him in that near post area. Kubas has just made his way behind Pickford now. It's an out-swinging delivery which comes off the top of Roden's head and drifts innocuously wide. Straight out of play for a goal kick that Jordan Pickford will take. We've got 7 minutes to go. It's been 3-0 for an hour. England 3, Wales 0. Austria hit double figures. Marko Arnautovic front and centre in that. Has got a hat-trick, including 2 in the space of 60 seconds. Austria 10, San Marino 0, with 6 minutes left in that game. Scotland leading 2-1. England leading Wales by 3-0. Gordon plays the ball forward out to the England right-hand side for Jed Spence. Spence shown inside over on that far touchline. Able to try and get it away from De Silva. Got it again on halfway. Now plays it even further back towards the edge of his own penalty area. Pickford will take a touch, then take another. They're preparing to launch it forward. He finds Mark Gahey instead. Gahey taking a touch, going out of the right-hand side. And England, to an extent, just going through the motions latterly. There's still a better energy about them than in the days of wholesale paper aeroplanes being thrown onto the pitch at this stage of the game, which we've all seen many times in the past. There is the detritus of a few bored supporters just littering the playing surface, but England can work it out towards the right once more here for Jared Bowen. Taking a touch, going back through the midfield again. Konsa on the edge of the centre circle, into the feet of Jordan Henderson. Don't know that Jordan Henderson's going to start many more games for England, but absolutely integral part of Thomas Tuchel's squad. Harry Kane talked about that this week and the influence that he has behind the scenes. It's his 86th cap for his country tonight. Bowen trying to make life difficult, but Mepham can clear, and then as it's just worked outside the box, England have given another free kick away. 5 to go, England 3, Wales 0 here on Talksport.
Yeah, it really has been a sort of game of two halves, if you like. England very, very good in the first half. Maybe their work was done at that stage at half-time. Not had the same intensity. saying that the Welsh have defended better, their wide players have tucked in slightly deeper, and England have found it more difficult to break them down.
Yeah, it's been a very effective exercise in damage limitation, Tom, in this second half.
Yeah, I think we learn a lot from this one. I think you have to show respect to the top teams, especially when you go away from home, to go out and try and press them like that. Like we did in the first half, it can punish you, it really can. So the second half is a lot better. We sat a lot deeper and almost blocked up to a mid-block, low block, and it's a lot harder for England to break us down.
Loftus-Cheek to Rashford, and out to the England right-hand side here for Jarrod Bowen. Played back by him inside the penalty area, where Spence's touch wasn't all that it might have been. Gibbs wide over on the far touchline, doing his best to regain possession. But his touch has actually just steered it over the line and out of play for a Welsh throw. 3-0 to England. And from 10 o'clock tonight, Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara will be opening up the sports bar, give you your chance to have your say. Jason's probably just loosening his tonsils as we speak. The Faker others also bring you all the live reaction from Thomas Tuchel and England's headline makers, so don't go anywhere. You can book your call now, 08717 223344, the number to call for the sports bar here on Talksport. And don't forget, more reaction tomorrow morning to everything that has happened at Wembley and at Hampden Park tonight on the Sports Breakfast. Alan Brazil live from Glasgow at 6 o'clock tomorrow. There's a little asterisk by that after a Scotland potential win in Hampden Park tonight, but we'll find out together. And Dean Saunders will be giving you his thoughts amongst the guests tomorrow. Nicky Butt also with the boys tomorrow. Brazil and Ray Parler on the Talksport Breakfast tomorrow morning. Wales in possession. We've got 2 minutes to go. Inside the centre circle, Chris Meppen comes forward over halfway, gets it away from Gibbs White. Thomas Tuchel not happy at the way that Wales were just able to make easy progress through the midfield there. Still very high exacting standards, even when the win is long since been assured. Meppen to his right to Roden. Brooks just fights another ball forward. Pickford will come out and take it. The bounce was kind, and then having brought it down, he just bowls it out for Jordan Henderson, and he can quickly cover 40 or 50 yards before laying it forward towards Jarrod Bowen. Bowen to Gibbs White, and then back for Spence. Spence's ball forward up the right-hand side, trying to get Bowen in behind Meppen, and Wales are going to be able to get it away.
Well cut out there in the back. And to be fair, England haven't really threatened the Welsh. I've got to say, they defended so much better this second half and worked that little bit harder, and England have found it very difficult. They've dropped off the pace slightly. Some credit has got to go to the Welsh for that.
Does that concern you from an England perspective? Is it difficult, bearing in mind that they had a commanding lead very early on, just to be able to keep going all the way through when there's no jeopardy?
Well, it does concern me. I've seen a couple of issues when that ball's been in and around our box where no one's taken sort of charge of situations, and you know full well when push comes to shove in the games that really count, that could be costly to you. Pickford's made a couple of good saves. In the game that we dominated, Pickford's had to make 2 very good saves as well.
Wales getting forward through the midfield with Sheehan finding James. Out to Kumas on the Welsh left as we go to 3 minutes of added time here at Wembley. 3-0 the score, and Kumas wins another corner to Wales, their second of the night, which will be taken over on the far touchline. Another chance, Tom, for a Welsh consolation.
Yeah, and like Stuart said, I think the game's just really petered out now. The intensity's been zapped from the game. Both teams are respecting each other when they've got the ball, so a lot of men behind the ball, which make it difficult. But Brooks has gone over again to take this in front of the Welsh faithful, and let's hope we can send them home with a goal, which would be really, really nice.
Well, the Faroes have beaten Montenegro 4-0, the other game in that group. The Czechs against Croatia has finished 0-0. In comes the corner from Jordan James towards the far post. It's headed down. England trying to get it away with Spence's challenge, but the referee has spotted the ball hitting an arm of a Welsh player, and it's a free kick to England inside their box. What's your main takeaway then, Tom? What's been the most positive aspect? Let's look at a glass being half full. What's been the most positive aspect that you can take into the Belgian game on Monday?
I think the positives will be that there's a lot to learn. There's a lot that we can debrief and take from this. Set pieces being a big one. We've looked vulnerable every set piece, conceded 2, could have potentially conceded more. I think we'd have learned that you cannot go away from home against these top teams and just go out and press them. You have to do it from a shape, you have to do it from a block, and there's nothing wrong with respecting these top teams, and that's exactly what England are. But I think it could have been in the first half, if England really did want to go for the jugular, it could have been 4 or 5, and I think that is a positive as well, that we didn't collapse.
Well, Wales' last game against top 10 opposition ended up in a 2-1 victory against Croatia a couple of years ago this week. And tonight, they've, truth be told, known their fate since the 20-minute mark. England 3 up at that stage, and still 3 up now with just a minute or so of stoppage time to go. Ball played forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Coming onto it is Rashford, who's got the ball at his feet, but whistle's gone. The Swiss referee said that Anthony Gordon handled it under pressure, but it was a handball, and it was Jarrod Bowen, and there's a free kick that is given Wales way on the edge of their own box.
Bowen's complaining that he was taken under it by the Welsh defender. He certainly is handled.
So Wales getting it forward with Mepham. Mepham's ball out towards De Silva, back for Mepham again. One last Welsh attack. Jordan Pickford coming to the right hand side of his penalty area will clear, and that will cement his 8th successive clean sheet. Pavlidis winner at Wembley, the last time that he's been beaten in an England shirt. He's only 7 minutes away from breaking his own international record. Full time, and it's another win for England against Wales. Same story that it has been every time these two have met since 1984. England racing into a fabulous 3-0 lead with goals from Rodgers, Watkins and Saka inside the opening 20 minutes. Wales much better in the second half than they were in the first. Pickford's 8th clean sheet only coming after a couple of impressive saves, but Belgrade was brilliant. It hasn't been too bad tonight here at Wembley either, and the feeling remains that England are certainly moving in the right direction. They've beaten Wales tonight by 3-0.
Comfortable from the 20th minute onwards, comfortable from the 3rd minute onwards really for England, and maybe just a little bit too comfortable. I do wonder what Thomas Tuchel will make of the rest of the game after they were 3 up inside 20 minutes. I wonder what he'll tell our England correspondent Faye Carruthers when she talks to him very shortly. We'll either get that reaction from Thomas Tuchel, from the England camp and from the Wales camp as well in this show, or on Sports Bar, which is coming up after 10 o'clock on Talksport. 03717 22 33 4. Before we reflect on England's 3-0 win, let's check in what's happened at Scotland. Paul Mitchell.
Scotland will take all 3 points because they've scored again. Scotland 3, Greece 1, and Kristanis Solakis, I have no idea what he was doing in goal. He slid, the ball was going to go out, I think for a corner. He slid, and rather than holding on to the ball, he pushed it out straight into the path of Lyndon Dykes, who hammered it high into the net. What a strange old game this is. Scotland are going to get 3 points. Scotland 3, Greece 1 at Hampden.
Well, they were losing and they're going to win it, and what a vital 3 points that is. That will give them a 4 points cushion between them and Greece in Group C of qualifying. Could be a massive victory for Scotland tonight. This one here at Wembley, a friendly. Stuart Pearce, and there's lots of positives for England, not least that they scored 3 goals. They had the game won early on, were very comfortable with that as well. But I think some things that Thomas Tuchel will need to address, and there's nothing wrong with that this far out from a World Cup. In some ways, it's probably better for him to address any issues rather than going on and winning 6 or 7-0 against a team that's got bigger fish to fry next week.
Yeah, we've come out of the blocks and ended up getting a lead that finished the game, to be honest with you. Second half I was a little bit disappointed with some of the balls in the box, that we didn't get solid clearances and first contacts. which I always think, I store that up and think this could be trouble going ahead in the future against better sides. But I think overall, a building block on last month's 2 victories. Thomas will be pleased with that. You take all the positives out of it, and we move on to a qualifier.
Yeah, Tuesday in Riga against Latvia, when, depending what happens elsewhere, it could be a game which sees England cement and guarantee qualification for the World Cup finals next summer in Mexico, Canada and the USA. And Tom Lockyer, Wales International, is with us as well. Has been with us all evening for Talksport. I think, yes, there'd be disappointment. I think that England, from an England fan's point of view, that they didn't go on and hammer home the advantage, get 5 or 6 or maybe even more. But actually, Wales deserves some credit for that second half. So we were wondering what Craig Bellamy was saying at half-time. It feels to me like it was all calm and measured from Craig Bellamy, because they came out clear-minded in the second half. Yeah,
I think they tweaked it a little bit and realised that you just can't go pressing these elite players. And people like John Stones so comfortable on the ball, Declan Rice so comfortable on the ball, massive pitch at Wembley, you will get picked off and they will go through and be at your back line. So look, it's a learning curve. I think one of these every now and again, especially in a friendly, is not the end of the world. Is actually really good to learn from. You probably learn more from these than you would against your 1-0s away to Kazakhstan or whatever it is. So these are the games we want to be playing. These are the games that we're gonna face if we are going to go deep into a competition, which is everyone's dream. But just look at the Wales fans opposite us now. They're there, they're proud, they're loud, they're clapping the boys off. Yes, it's not the result or the performance. It's probably one of the worst performances under Craig Bellamy that I've seen. However, they can see what he's trying to do. He can see the change from the last regime, just how much they've improved as a team. And they're buying into the journey that Craig's delivering for us. So, look, this isn't the end of the world. Yes, it's not ideal. Full focus goes on to Belgium on Monday night, and there's a lot to learn from this, which we will get better from.
Well, I think the Wales fans, they stayed noisy all the way through the second half, and actually they were my Wales man of the match, by the way, the marks out of 10, the Welsh fans. I thought they were superb. But they had something to shout about, because your team could have capitulated. They could have just rolled over. Craig Bellamy could have made some changes to save players for Monday's big game in Cardiff and really weakened the team and allowed England to absolutely punish them. But they saw a bit of fight from their team. And I think when you're going to lose a game, and Wales will lose some games, I think that you want to see that fight. You want to see that kind of never say die. Listen, we're not going to roll over here. We are going to give it some battle.
Yeah, and that's the Welsh War for you. They've been fantastic for the last decade and more. So they're a big part of everything we do in Wales, and there's a great rapport between players and the fans. So yeah, it's massive. You never want to send them home disappointed, but like I said, they believe in the journey. I think the biggest thing for Craig, probably first half, would probably be that lack of fight shown. So that would be a slight concern, but you have to give credit to England. They were full throttle from the get-go, didn't allow us to breathe, cut off all the options, forced us long into their hands, and and on turnovers they were deadly as well. And when you've got someone like Bukayo Saka who can put one in the top stanchion from cutting in on his left-hand side, you're going to be up against it. But look, like I said, there's a lot to be positive about, and there's a lot to learn, more importantly. And I think Craig will take a lot of positives from it, from the fact that there will be clips, there will be data to use going forward.
Stuart, you worked with Craig Bellamy in the GB Olympics. 13 years ago, I think it was now, something like that. Gosh, we're getting old, aren't we? Well, you are. I'm wondering how he's feeling, because he did clearly say, we heard the clip of him beforehand saying, you can't defend deep against England, otherwise you die a slow death. And they've just allowed England to walk or run all over them in the first 20 minutes of the game. Is this a bit of an education for Craig Bellamy?
I think in the first half they got caught between two stools. Maybe those comments of, let's take the game to them, let's try and squeeze on and press from the front. You have to do that as a collective. I don't think they did. I think maybe the front four attempted to go and put some pressure on England, but never really panicked them. And they just drew the likes of the wide players on, namely Brennan Johnson, and just slid it past him. And all of a sudden, then you've got the wide open spaces to play in. So I think they got caught between two stools. Second half, totally different. and we had Brennan Johnson playing right in front of us. His position was that much deeper. He didn't go chasing Gahey and get picked off, and England found it quite difficult to break through.
And I think I was thinking Brennan Johnson might be taken off at half-time. And he wasn't. He stayed out there. He got taken off with 15 minutes or so to go. And it was almost like Craig Bellamy was saying, look, you got a chance to redeem yourself. Do what I tell you to do in this second half, and let's take it from there. And as Stuart said, he actually did a much better job helping out his teammate.
Yeah, and I agree with Stuart as well. They were probably almost caught in between two different, but the front four wanted to press, and I believe Wales did want to press, but it's just so hard when England can create overloads all around the pitch. So it was the front four were getting played around, looking behind them and seeing no midfield and no defenders for the next 50 yards and thinking, why am I pressing? And then he's not running back because he's got the ump or whatever, and then it looks bad. So yeah, I don't believe he just doesn't want to run back. I think a lot of things go into it, but it certainly didn't look good. But second half it was a lot better. He didn't go chasing willy-nilly and stayed in a shape and pressed only when it was on. And like Stuart said, it was a lot harder for England to play through and play around. And
if we look back at that Serbia game, Stuart, and also if we look at the first 20 minutes here, England were absolutely fantastic. Right, let's get back down to the tunnel. Talksport's Faye Carruthers is down there. Oh, sorry, we'll go to Faye very shortly. Let's get full time, though. The whistle has gone at Hampden at Scotland. Paul Mitchell.
Scotland 3, Greece 1. A come from behind win after Kostas Tsimikas put Greece deservedly ahead. They'll wonder how it took them so long to score. 62 minutes they dominated. Scotland threw a switch and the game changed. Ryan Christie equalised 2 minutes later. Lewis Ferguson pounced to far Scotland ahead on 18 minutes. Both goals similar quick finishes after clearances. A great stoppage time save by Angus Gunn allowed Scotland to go to the other end, and then Greek keeper Solakis gifted the ball to Lyndon Dykes as he was trying to stop conceding a corner, and Dykes finished with aplomb. Scotland get the 3 points. They didn't play very well, certainly not for the first 60 minutes or so, but they've won it here. Scotland 3, Greece 1.
And Denmark winning 6-0 in Belarus, also in Group C. Leaves Group C like this: Denmark with 7 from 3, Scotland with 7 from 3, and Greece with 3 from 3. Belarus yet to get off the mark. So, crucial win for Scotland at Hampden Park tonight, and there's more to come as well as far as Scotland are concerned. They're home to Belarus, and looking at the table, that should be a win for Scotland. That's a 5 p.m. kickoff on Sunday afternoon. We'll keep you across that on Talksport, of course. But Scotland coming from behind to beat Greece tonight. We are going to hear from the England camp very shortly. Let me tell you, when we're talking about Scotland, Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbonhor back on Talksport Breakfast from 6 a.m. tomorrow, live from the Arnold Clark showroom in Glasgow. They'll be joined by 6-time Premier League winner and former England midfielder Nicky Butt. The ex-Everton Rangers and Scotland captain David Weir will be on the show as well, and the former Scotland player Charlie Mulgrew will also be with them. And they're giving away a car on the show. So that's a cracking show in store. 6 a.m. live from Glasgow on Talksport tomorrow morning with Alan Brazil and Gabby Agbonlahor. Stuart Pearce, England have just been very good against Serbia. First 20 minutes, half an hour, first half here. They were excellent, and it shows what they can do. They can be brilliant.
Well, there's enough talent in this squad to be brilliant on their day. There's no doubt about that. I think the last 3 games I've been quite buoyed up by. I know the criticism come from the Andorra game, but I've got to give credit to Andorra. I thought they were outstanding defensively, as I said. And then since then, we've been pretty free scoring, not conceded a goal. Maybe the odd question mark sometimes in our defensive work in and around the box. It looks a little bit harum-scarum, but something to build on. We need another victory next week and we could be through and planning for the States.
Yeah, it's a weird one with the defensively, because I know what you're talking about with the little wobbles, and first off, even Jordan Pickford's almost kicked one into the path of Harry Wilson, which might have ricocheted anywhere. And he has those moments of boredom where he decides to make the game exciting, but it's another clean sheet. So defensively, no complaints really.
No complaints at all, unless you look at the bigger picture and you think, let's look at tournament football and the odd chance in a game and small margins. That's where my mind's going at this moment in time.
Yeah, listen, I would say to you as well that maybe we didn't have our first choice fullbacks out there tonight. John Stones being back, though, I thought was a big plus, because at times in the first half he looked so good on the ball, didn't he? He looked like a real leader, bringing it out. He looked absolute class at times.
I think it looks the best pairing at the moment, him and Gahey. I'm a big fan of Gahey, but John Stones alongside him, they balance off each other. It gives Gahey the opportunity to play in the position he does for his club, the left side centre-back role that he seems to enjoy.
And that was a big problem, wasn't it? Kiefer Moore could get no joy against those centre-halves. I mean, yes, it was to do with the way Wales were set up and the way England were really good, but defensively England at centre-half, Tom, looked solid.
Yeah, they do, and they got good strength and depth there as well. You know, if something was to happen, you look, Big Dan Burn can easily fill in there, and he's a man mountain himself, obviously playing really well at Newcastle. So, yeah, it was a comfortable game for England today, especially in the first half. They'll have tougher tests, that's for sure. But I agree with Stuart that it was probably the best pairing I've seen.
Right, let's head down to the tunnel and check in with Faye Carruthers.
I am standing here right now with Bukayo Saka. Bukayo, Stuart Pearce said in commentary that was the best goal he's ever seen at Wembley. How did it feel when it left your foot? I mean, wow is what you say.
I've scored a better one at Wembley, I think. But
which one?
Against Ukraine. Yeah, Jordan Henderson reminded me at half-time because he gave me the assist. But no, it felt good when it left my foot. And obviously when I looked up and I saw where it was, great feeling,
It was a really good team performance, it felt. That opening 20 minutes in particular was really exciting to watch. How did it feel out there?
Yeah, it felt amazing. One of the best team performances I've been a part of in an England shirt. The first 35 minutes, I'd say, we were like a pest. We were almost unstoppable at times, and the way we were moving the ball, when we counter-press, win it back. It felt like, every time we had the ball, we could score. And yeah, I felt it was a very, very good team performance, one that we can be proud of and continue to build on.
And how exciting is it to be part of that? Bearing in mind, obviously, you've been so hampered by injuries. This is actually only the second game that you've had under Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, I know. I've missed a lot of games under Thomas Tuchel, so at the start of the season I was itching to get back in the England shirt and build some momentum and get some games under him. And obviously I missed last camp, which I was gutted about. So it made this camp feel even more special for me. Coming back and obviously playing at Wembley, which I haven't done in a while.